What is shaking, everybody? We're in the backyard. It's Friday. You know how we like to roll. We had a little bit of a, you can barely see it. We had to put the little awning up today because it was raining and then it wasn't raining. We just said, screw it, let's put it up. And now it's sunny, so it's kind of helping us out. Anyway, we're going to do a draft show today. I'm here with one of my best friends who I've known for, god dang, getting close to 40 years now. Craig Bergman.
You don't have to go there.
Yeah, we're
getting too old.
go there. Former coach at Monte Vista High, 25 years there. Or was it 28? 25?
I've been actually 29 years already.
29. How many years you coached?
20. I was a head coach for
years.
20.
Yep. And some of the players you've coached, Jake Haener, Zach Ertz, Waylon, played for the Colts and the Bengals a little bit.
Nate Landman.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you've coached quite a few, and you probably had one of the best well-known assistant coaches in the Bay Area for a year or two.
Yeah, I don't want to give him that, that moniker right there. And since he's probably not listening anyway, living in Texas.
He probably is. And Brent Jones actually was his tight end coach. I'd love to hear him argue over who gets credit for Zach Ertz. Brent says Brent and Craig says Craig. So I think it's probably more Zach Ertz than anything.
That's all Zach Ertz.
Yeah. And how many championships? Four championships. Were they CIF?
3 CIF, one other league. Yeah, we lost out to a team that's pretty close by to us several times for a championship. De La Salle was.
They're pretty good. They're
pretty
not
good.
Bad.
They've had a pretty good run.
And then the team you beat, your last championship, had a pretty good player on it.
Yeah, Najee Harris.
Yeah.
And with all the draft stuff coming up, I know he's gone to Chargers, I believe.
I think he went to the Chargers. I believe so. And they got the kid from didn't the Chargers have the kid from North Carolina?
Yeah, they took the kid from North Carolina late in the first.
Yeah, he's good.
That's kind of the 1-2 punch, I guess, for him next year.
That guy's good. So we're just gonna sit around, talk draft, and we'll probably hang out until the second round, see who the Niners take. Of course, Lou's alongside. Lou's always alongside. And you can't see her, but right behind me, right about there. What are you eating? The bunny. The bunny's always chilling. Like, we'll get the bunny cam going at some point. We may hit Warriors a little bit, but we'll do more of that on Saturday night. The plan is to come home Saturday night from the game and do the same thing we've been doing. It'll be a little, well, I won't say it'll be easier, but it'll be a little earlier for me. And I was kicking off those shows at like 12:30 and staying up till 1:30 doing the post-game shows. They were fun, though. I enjoyed them and enjoy interacting with you guys and talking hoops. So we'll do that again Saturday. Games earlier, 5:30 games. So I'll probably be home by 9, and we can knock out an hour or so. I'll just go in the room. Who knows? Maybe I'll just come out here and throw the fireplace on. And it would be like spooky bedtime stories, except it'll be spooky post game, is what it'll be. We'll have the mask going and everything. The Michael Myers. Ooh, it's so scary. We'll do that. So let's get into the draft.
Yep.
What do you think of the Niners' first pick, Michael Williams out of Georgia?
I liked it. You and I have always talked about the draft, and my opinions always go with a lineman, offensive or defensive lineman, the highest ranked on the board, and I don't think you can go wrong with that. It gives them somebody opposite Bosa.
Yep.
He's probably going to get a lot of one-on-one stuff because they're going to slide the protection to Bosa. So you're going to see early on how well he does. He's got great length. Played at Georgia.
He's like 260.
260.
The big dude.
I don't know what his hand size was, but
I didn't check hand size.
Sure
I'm not huge on the hand size.
He's a really nice acquisition for them because they needed it. They didn't get much production out of the other side.
Yeah.
And with Bosa kind of having a down year last year, in my opinion, that I think this is a very good pick.
Well, I mean, who have they had there since D Ford? I mean, it's just been rotating guys that have either been just okay or not very good.
And even D Ford, he got hurt so
he had
quickly.
that one good year, and then after that, he was like maybe played another half a year.
Yeah,
because he had the back issues.
Well, it kind of goes back. I don't know what they're going to do in the second round, and I've been reading some things that said they may go D tackle. And once again, I don't think you can go wrong when you go up front with a D tackle. When they lost Armstead and they lost Buckner, they took a big hit. And it really showed it's the toll it took on their defense the last couple of years. Yeah.
Well, I think from what I've read and what I've heard, and I watched Williams play a few times because I watched Georgia. Like, that's one of the guys I can talk about watching play. And I know he played with an ankle injury last year, so he wasn't quite as explosive as he would have liked. But the one thing I really liked hearing about him is he's like Armstead in that he can go from outside to inside. So you have him like on base downs and run downs. He can be the guy setting the edge and stuff like that. And then on passing downs, he can come in, get like a one-on-one matchup against a guard. If you have somebody else on the edge who's more of a pass specialist, throw him out there. Because I always thought they were cooking with gas when the Niners had Ford, Bosa, Armstead, and Buckner.
Yep.
Because Armstead and Buckner against guards, they would just destroy those guys. And I'm hoping this guy's one of those type guys.
Well, and when they had those four, they were able to put heat on the quarterback without blitzing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember, they didn't blitz a whole heck of a lot back then because those four put so much pressure on the quarterback. And if you can do that and drop your backers into coverage, you can do so many different things coverage-wise and screw the quarterback up. And with the linebackers they have, well, they've obviously lost Greenlaw, but with Warner in there, and he's so good in coverage, if you don't have to bring five guys and can still put pressure on the quarterback, you're going to have a much more successful defense.
What did you think about the Niners? I mean, basically not re-signing anybody. They let a lot of talent go, and there are a bunch of different camps. One that says, hey, they weren't super productive. It's okay to let them go. Then you had people who are like, they may not have been super productive, but you still need players, like solid NFL players, and they were that. And there are others that say, well, let's just go ahead and build through the draft, which is tricky because you might not hit all the guys you need to hit. I think, maybe some people are saying, why not keep a few of those and then go ahead and try to build through the draft? You could do both of them. What'd you think of all the guys they let go this year?
Yeah, I was disappointed they let Greenlaw go specifically. I think he was kind of the heart and soul of that defense. Obviously, Warner, he makes all the calls. He's terrific. He does everything out there. But Greenlaw brought a phicality.
Yeah, Greenlaw wasn't the best player.
No,
but he was the most physical. Like he was a tone setter.
And he was around the ball every time he brought it. He played with an attitude.
Yeah,
and Hufanga did that a little bit. But the problem with Hufanga is he's been hurt so much. It's hard to get a true evaluation on how he's going to do. He's obviously been very good when he's in there, but he hasn't been in there that much. Yeah. And so I can understand maybe not putting as much into him. But Greenlaw was a big loss, and I think that's going to show. And the only time will tell on
that. I kind of felt the same way with Debo in that he wasn't the best player on the offense, but he was the physical tone setter. Him and Kittle were.
Yeah.
And I felt like they lost two of those guys that kind of were culture guys, tone guys, bring the physicality. Because when the Niners are at their best, they're super physical. Yeah. I mean, they just maul teams. Now, on their own, I can see getting rid of Debo. Like, I mean, last year wasn't great. He's crying for the ball at the end of the year and then dropping passes. It's like, that's not good. His weight has fluctuated. So, I mean, I could see, like, in a vacuum, you get rid of Debo, that's fine. But, then it's Debo. Yeah. Then it's Floyd. Then it's Greenlaw. Then it's Hufanga. And, like, Aaron Banks, they lost the guard. No way I would have paid that much money for Aaron Banks. Not a chance. But, you got to get somebody else to replace him. So it's an accumulation of all these losses that, I mean, like, to be competitive this year, I shouldn't say to be competitive, to get back to where they're going to be and they want to be, they're going to have to hit like 3 or 4 of these guys that are like major contributors this year.
They're going to have to be major contributors, but you also have to be realistic in the sense that they're coming in as rookies. And, rookies tend to struggle. Most rookies, not all.
Yeah.
Their first year in the league. It's the speed difference and the size difference. It just happens so much quicker, and it takes a while. By the time they get used to it, it's towards the end of the season. So you're going to see a lot of growing pains early with whoever's playing early.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer, too, that the further you are away from the football, meaning a receiver, be the widest guy away from the football, defensive back, the easier it is to play early. And the reason being is the physicality isn't quite there on the outside that it is in the inside.
Yeah.
From tackle to tackle, from linebacker to running back, the physicality of those guys, the size, the speed of those guys, it takes a while for a young guy to get used to that. They got to get stronger. They got to get bigger. So I don't expect too many people coming in to make a huge factor on them offensively or defensively. Now, the edge players, they're right on that border. They're on the edge of that, of that box. And so that's why I think the pick yesterday with Williams will be good because he can get a lot of one-on-ones, and he'll do a nice job with that. I have no doubt he'll be good. I think they've got to follow that up with more interior linemen because the guys we talked about with the Greenlaws and Hufanga's terrific against the run.
Yeah.
They're not very good against the run right now.
Yeah, no, they haven't been.
They haven't been. And every team and every coach in the league, if you can run the football, they're going to run the football.
Yeah.
I mean, even the pass happy guys, they're going to want to run. If you can run, there's nothing more demoralizing. So they've got to do something to shore that up.
Don't kill my bunny and step down, okay?
I'll put my calf on it.
She was late. So this is a guy I talk about when I say that he's got the biggest calves in the world. You can see him. And I keep telling him, look at those things. Look at those fucking calves. I mean, you could be the only person in the history of civilization that could do a calves OnlyFans.
I thought about
all
that.
You'd have to do is show your calves, and you get people going nuts out there. I mean, can you imagine how much money you'd make? And
you should start an OnlyFans with calves. I don't know. I wouldn't know the first thing about where to do it. I'm not kidding.
Patrice tried to get you to
would
do
love
it.
That, yeah.
Wow.
Extra money, it's more money she can spend. But I wouldn't know the first thing about that. where to sign up.
Hey, somebody tell us how to do that. How do you sign up for an OnlyFans?
And is there a market?
So, there's a market.
There's a market.
There's a market for everything. You kidding me? Absolutely, there's a market for people that have cat fetishes. I mean, they're out there. Those are probably some weird fuckers too, though. Can you imagine?
No, I
what's
don't
your favorite part of
that. I don't want to imagine somebody looking at my calves.
Oh,
well,
can you
depends
imagine?
on who it is.
Well, you don't get to decide.
No, that's good. I guess that's a good thing.
You won't care when they put $50 in your account.
I wouldn't care about that at all.
You'd be like, okay, that's a green fee.
Yeah. As long as I just show from the waist down. I don't need to show face. I don't need to show anything else. Just the calf.
Waist down, knees down.
I know. Yeah.
You don't even need to go waist. You're like,
I'm proud of my thighs too.
You're good to go. Well, you can show those off if you want to, but you know what though? I would definitely wouldn't go down into the feet because then you get some weirdos. Like you get the foot fetish people. You don't want that.
Unless
you don't want that. You know, it'd be awesome if we actually saw you with the OnlyFans calves account, and then you started wearing like fishnet and all that kind of fun stuff. Pantyhose.
Hey, like whatever it takes, whatever they need to see.
Whatever
I could be had.
Calves are for sale. In fact, you know what you could do? You could put advertising on your calves. That's how big they are.
Like fake
like a fucking billboard.
That's
like advertising. Like you could do. I got an Alvarado Street beer, by the way. Fantastic, a Mai Tai Gold, and Bergie's got a pretty pills from Cellar Maker. But yeah, you could do like beer ads on your calves. It'd be incredible. I mean, do anything. Think of it. You could do Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Maybe
whatever.
If I get back into coaching, I could be on the sideline, be like a billboard.
Look at that.
It's perfect.
You should get back into coaching and do it.
Just for that.
Yeah, exactly. Get like get KY jelly on one calf.
Well, if I'm doing the calves, who knows what they want to do with that KY jelly.
But who cares?
No,
you don't got to show your face.
Right.
I mean, although now that we've talked about it, people already know what your calves look like. They're like, nobody has calves like that. And literally, nobody has calves like that. I've been to 3 different countries, and I've never seen anybody with calves like that.
What 3 countries?
What 3 countries have I been to? I was, let's see, France, Italy. I guess I've been to 4. Canada. You've
been to Mexico?
Yeah, I was in Mexico. So I guess I've been to more than that. But I've never really been to like vacation, like because Italy and France were basketball related. So we were there. Canada, basketball related. Mexico.
That was McMillan related.
That's where I lost my kidney. I don't have a kidney anymore. Now, Mexico is a cruise. We went on a Mexican.
You also went down to Rocky Point. You've been to Puerto Princesa.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I've been to Rocky Point. But I've never been like to go for like 10 days on like a vacation. Although I think I'm going to, I think I'm going to go to England, London, England. In August. I'm trying to get Davey to go with me.
Oh,
one of our other friends. He's a little puss, so he might not go. But
not
I'm
a little
sure.
puss. He's a big puss.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he goes. See if he goes with it. What is that? I'm not going to read. We'll get to comments in a minute. So we're going to stick around to the second round, and I mean, look, my guess is O-line or D-line again, but it wouldn't shock me if they went. It's too early for linebacker.
Corner.
Let me ask you about
corner.
this. Yeah, corner.
Yeah.
Corner's another one they might go. We talked about that Will Johnson kid from Michigan who hasn't gone yet.
And a lot
He'll
of people
probably go early in the second.
And a lot of people mocked him coming to the Niners early at that first
like
pick
11.
At 11, and he hasn't been picked yet.
Yeah, they were close.
And I know that the kid out of Mississippi, I think Amos, Troy Amos or Tori Amos, something like that.
Is it Tori Amos,
I don't know if it's Tori Amos. Maybe it is. It's a good singer too. I know his last name, Trey Amos.
Trey Amos. There
Trey
you
Amos,
go.
big corner out of Ole Miss is available. That'd be a good pick too. Defensively, they have a lot of holes to fill all over the place.
What'd you think about last 4 or 5 games, Ricky Pearsall?
I like him.
Do you?
I like him a lot. I don't think it's hard to tell. They didn't do a lot with him. They ran a lot of underneath routes. They didn't try and stretch the field with him. When you have him and Ayuk together and they're at full speed, I think you're going to see more of that. And they're going to utilize him more. I think he's going to get a lot of the things that Debo got. I think he runs better routes.
Yeah.
It's
Debo didn't. I mean, Debo's great. Debo didn't run routes worth of shit.
No, they had to find.
It wasn't his strong point.
No, they had to find ways to get him the ball.
They're just trying to get him the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh God, watch out.
And he wasn't good though going laterally. And they give him to it on reverse or underneath pitches. He was dangerous when he was going downfield.
Yeah.
And he would face up on a guy, he'd run through, he could juke you in the open space, but he wasn't good going laterally. And I thought they did a little too much of that. Pearsall might be a little better going laterally. Yeah. So he may get some of those things.
I think his routes were definitely better.
Yeah, and he caught the ball well.
He's a pretty good route runner. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And then I tell you what, they find some guys in the 5th, 6th, 7th round. Jawan Jennings was a stud last year. When he took over for the number 1 guy, I was like, well, damn, this guy deserves more than $10 million he's getting this year. He was great.
He was great. I mean, I don't know if he'd be when he was the number 1 guy there for a while. Obviously, he did a great job for them. But if he's your number 1,
well, yeah,
you got some issues. But if he's your 2.5, 2, 3 guy, those 3 guys together, you're going to need a 4th because obviously guys are going to go down. You're going to need to give guys a rest. But those 3 are solid, very solid, and
he's physical too.
He's physical. Ooh. You got to keep those guys healthy. And, that's the name of the game now in the NFL is depth. Yeah. Everybody's getting hurt at some time. And, I mean, everybody. They all get hurt. They miss games. They miss series. Yeah. And who are you going to put in there for those plays?
Now, this isn't for the second round because I don't think they would take him in the second round. I would hope they wouldn't take him in the second round. But what do you think 3rd or 4th round? Cam Skattebo. Do you like him?
I do. I mean, he's totally
I hate
unique.
to say it because he went to ASU. I really do. But, I got to be honest. That dude was a stud last year.
You know what? I'm going to say he went to Sac State.
Well, he did that too.
So let's call him from Sac State.
Okay,
he had a good success at ASU.
That makes it more palatable.
It is more palatable. Northern California guy.
Yeah.
He's unique. I see.
He's a football player, though.
He's a football player.
Just a fucking football player.
And I am so sick and tired of people, getting all excited about guys at the combine. The combine, I think, is the worst thing out there. You have no evaluation of a football player. Guys train for the combine. They have specific coaches that get these guys ready for combines. Yeah.
So that they can have the best time in the 40, the best shuttle time, and do those things. It doesn't translate to football always.
Yeah.
It might help enhance somebody who can play, but Skattebo's got film. You watch him on film, he just makes play after play against everybody they win against. And I agree. He's a good football player. Somebody's going to get a good player in him. And, I look at him like a Taysom Hill where you can do a lot of different things with him. He's big, he's fairly quick, and he is very physical.
Yeah. Pretty slick, Max. Well done. I had to fucking sneak in there Mission Impossible style and adjust my mic while you guys kept the camera on Bergie so no one knew it. But I just fucking told everybody, so now you're fucked anyway. So I just outed you. I just outed you. I could have done that, by the way. I mean, I did. Look, Daniel and Max, we don't have the camera on them right now, but they do a great job. And I wouldn't know half of what the hell I'm doing without them, more than that. But I mean, I can do some things. I'm not a goddamn paraplegic over here. Like fucking, can you do the, I mean, I can lift stuff and move stuff a little bit. So.
All right. Well, next time you need a beer, you can go get it yourself.
Yeah. Well, Lou. In fact, I do need one. Give me a fucking beer. Hold on, please. Make sure the bunny doesn't get it. But so I hear, Max and Daniel didn't know this because I let the bunny out. And if you open the door, bunny loves going in the garage
and exploring.
How can
And
you get around in that garage? You can't even move in that garage.
Hey, let's leave the garage out of it, okay?
I wish you could get some video of the
No,
garage.
no, I'm not proud of the garage, okay?
It's been like that for 20 years.
It looks like a tornado. Like it looks like Joplin, Oklahoma, or Missouri, I guess it was after the tornado. It's bad. It really is. But you put the bunny in. Oh, she finds the crevices, and then you can't get her out because of what you're saying. I can't reach down there and get her out, and it's just like, oh no, she's in there. She's basically in there until she doesn't want to be in there anymore. We just leave the door open, and then she comes back out. But yeah,
she's hiding where all the hard liquor is because the hard liquor never gets drank.
The hard liquor does not get
every
drank.
time there's a party. Any hard liquor that's brought here gets put in the same spot. I think there's hard liquor back there.
Oh, there is
from 25 years ago.
There is. There absolutely is. If you come over with vodka and you leave it here, the next time you come over, that vodka will still be there.
Yeah,
there is like nobody in this house drinks hard liquor.
Does vodka go bad? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I
don't think vodka goes
basically
bad.
Rubbing alcohol.
I know you're a vodka guy.
A little bit, yeah, but I'm not straight. I leave that to my mom. She likes that.
I thought you liked it straight.
No, that's Macmillan.
Oh, okay.
Craig
you like gin?
That. I do. I love gin.
Straight?
No, not so much.
Okay.
A little tonic.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
You know, it just I don't feel. I mean, I love beer. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like Kavanaugh. What did he say? I love beer.
I love beer. I love beer.
But a good gin and tonic is tough to
the one on
beat.
the far right. The black can because I'm woke. Give me the black can. So let's go. This is a fieldwork beer. This is a Saturdays of Thunder, and it's a West Coast IPA that Ogden was talking about, and it's got some pop to it. I guess Fieldwork's doing this thing now where it's like this like S series of beers where they're going to have a certain number of these beers. You come in, get your ticket punched, salad tossed, whatever. I don't know what you're doing.
No, don't call it that.
No, you're probably not. But you get your ticket punched, and then you get a glass if you buy the S series. This one's pretty good. I like this one. Saturday of Thunder. It's really hoppy. This one's got a little punch to it. So
hard to go wrong with a Fieldwork beer.
Oh, Fieldwork's fantastic. You kidding me? I love Fieldwork. All right, so you are a Cam Scattaboo fan.
I am.
Okay, so am I.
I am a Scattaboo fan, and I think whoever he goes to, he's the kind of guy. I don't care if he's a first or seventh round pick. He's the kind of guy that's going to find a way to make the team.
Yeah, I just love guys that are ballers.
Yeah.
Like he just looks like a baller. And by the way, dude is tough to bring down.
He's
like
tough
he
to
gets hit and he just bounces off and keeps going. Like you want to talk about a low center of gravity? That's that dude.
Oh man, when they played that Texas game,
yeah,
he was phenomenal. And obviously Texas is loaded with athletes. He's not half the athlete some of those guys were, but he just makes it happen. You talked about football players too. There's something to be said about that. Just guys that can play.
Yeah,
and there's not. At the pro level, everybody gets caught up in the numbers, the speed, and obviously you need to have those things, and that's a bonus. But don't overlook the fact that a guy can play football.
Yeah,
and the same thing happens from going to high school to college. I look at Boise State. Boise State's made a living of getting guys that were so-called not big enough or not fast enough, but they could play football.
Yeah,
and that's why they've been so competitive. They may get overlooked by the bigger schools, and just like in the NFL, that guy's. He's too short. His arms are too short. They're talking about the kid from LSU, the lineman, saying, "Oh, his arms are a little too short."
Yeah,
that guy can play.
Yeah.
And if you can play, you can play.
Well, look at a guy like Julian Edelman.
Yes,
right. I mean, he's just a football player. Yeah. He gets it. He understands how to play. And there's a bunch of those guys that find their way in the league. Yeah. Like I always explain it in basketball. Like if somebody asks me what his greatest attribute is, I go, "He's just a basketball player." And they're like, "What does that mean?" I go, he just knows how to play.
Yeah.
I could set a play for him. He'll run it. If it breaks down, he knows what to do. If I gave him a basketball and 4 players that he didn't know at the park, he would know how to play with those guys. He'd just figure it out. I'm assuming football is the same way. You just get it. You get how to play. You know where to be instinctively.
You do. Sometimes the physicality of it can catch up to you.
Yeah.
Specifically on the interior. If you're giving up 100 pounds to a guy, that's hard to overcome. But the small things, the arm length, the hand size, those types of things, I think those are so overblown.
Yeah.
And obviously it comes at the time when everybody wants to talk football, so they're looking for anything and everything to pick apart on people.
Yeah.
But it's playing the game, and there's no substitute for getting good film out there. The best thing for evaluating, and I know that if you watch the Williams, they had so much film that they could evaluate on him through his years at Georgia, and he's playing against top-notch competition. That's the only thing you really need to look at is can they play. And if you're playing at Georgia, you're playing against Alabama, against LSU, so you're playing against NFL type speed already, and so it translates very well when you do go to the draft.
Well, Shanahan doesn't go to the draft. McVay doesn't go to the draft. There's a bunch of people that think, well, I can spend my time better back here evaluating tape and 100%. watching these guys.
I think, it's actually a boondoggle. You go back there, it's a big party.
They want to go drink,
hang
out, go to St. Elmo's, have the fucking shrimp cocktail, which, by the way, I was there for a playoff game, and I don't know who the Pacers were playing. So St. Elmo's is a great steakhouse there. You know it?
Yep.
Okay. So, and they have this shrimp cocktail. So the shrimp cocktail is the shrimp, and it's just mixed with the cocktail sauce. So the tail's already off, and I'm like, oh, this is incredible. You got the shrimp and the cocktail sauce, and they got horseradish in there. And I got this big shrimp and took a huge dip. Not skull, not that type of dip, but a dip of the cocktail sauce, and ate it. I was almost on the floor 15 seconds later.
Hot.
I mean, tears. And I can handle heat. And I was just crying for like 5 minutes. And literally, I couldn't stop. Because that's the thing. With the salsa, it gets really hot, and it lasts a while. With the horseradish, it's like a jet engine in your nose. Like, and once it starts, you can't stop it. It's just like you're bracing for impact. You're like, how many G-forces is this going to be?
And how long is it going to take? Give me some milk.
Oh, but milk doesn't help with horseradish. It only helps with salsa.
Well, it wasn't as hot as the wings.
No. Well, I mean, it's a different kind of hot because horseradish is in your nose.
Yeah.
That's in your nose. The wings you're talking about, we had from Smoke Eaters down in San Jose. And people can find that on YouTube, by the way. This was like 20 years ago. Me and Brian Smith, a producer at the time, one of my producers, we had wings on air. And those things were so hot. So hot. So I had like 7 wings left over. And Bergie invited me to one of his friends' house. We were having a poker party. And I brought them over. And everybody had them. I go, hey, I got some wings. I brought some wings over. They're pretty hot. Be careful. And I don't think they realized exactly how hot they were.
I had one. I ate the whole thing. My mouth was wrecked for an hour.
So was mine. And my stomach was wrecked the whole night.
Oh, and a beer didn't help.
No.
Ice didn't help. Milk didn't. Nothing helped.
No.
And I just was wondering when it was going to stop.
And that was that dude, Man vs. Food.
Yes.
Adam Richman. Adam Richman.
Not Adam Rich from 8 is Enough.
No, I don't think it was Adam Rich from 8 is Enough. Or Tommy Ames. He wasn't even.
Willie Ames.
Willie Ames. That's what it was. He wasn't singing.
Don't disrespect him like that.
Who is there a Tommy Ames out there?
Tommy Amaker.
Maybe it's Willie Ames, and was his name on the show Tommy? No.
Oh, he might have been. I think it was.
Maybe I'm thinking of Tommy Amaker.
No, probably not.
Probably not. A little different hue, I think. And then Dick Van Dyke?
No, Dick Van Patten. Dick Van Dyke. Oh my God, Todd Link is rolling over right now.
He is. He's rolling over in his grave. He is rolling over his grave. God, that's awful. And that's really all I have.
Grant Goodeve.
Oh, Grant Goodeve. I could have got that one. That's
Grant
it.
Goodeve.
That's the only one I could have got. And the other ones I just completely botched.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I wasn't. I liked 8 is Enough. I'm not a huge 8 is Enough.
Well, there wasn't very much on. You only had like 5 channels.
Yeah.
And that
But Dick
was
Van
on.
Patten, doesn't his son is the one that does the poker?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. He was married to one of those Real Housewives.
Oh,
Vince
really?
Van Patten, yeah.
Yeah, he does poker.
Does he do?
Yeah, he does. He does.
I think
he does the
I
poker.
think he does a lot of
like the World Poker Tour.
Producing too.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, video.
Okay.
Stuff.
Yeah, he does the World Poker. And I think he was like a pro tennis player, like low level pro tennis player.
One of them was. Yeah, it might have been him. I think it was him.
Yeah. Fucking, I don't know. I'm just
Dick
throwing
Van
out.
Dyke, Dick Van Patten,
I'm just throwing out.
Dick
shit.
Van Arsdale.
Dick Van. Who had a brother, I believe, who played
Tom?
with him. Yep. And as far as you know, what? You feel like saying something? You want to get in on the mix? All right. All right. Give me your thoughts on Purdy and what the Niners should do. Sounds like, I mean, from what I've read, he sounds like it's close to signing something and getting something done. What are your thoughts on him?
You know, we've talked about it. It's I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's a very good quarterback. I wouldn't put him in.
It almost sounds like when you say that there's like a but coming.
There is when you're talking $50 million, and that's
he's getting 50. You know that.
I do know that. I do know that. I don't agree with it.
Really?
I don't. I mean, the way I look at it, he's under contract right now. Correct.
Even Mike Myers is like fucking.
He's under contract. Like correct. If I'm not mistaken, he's got one more year on his contract.
That is correct. One more year under contract. You're absolutely correct.
You know what? Lay it out there for him. Maybe give him a 1-year deal and say, we want to see you do it this year. We're going to be missing some.
He already fucking led him to the Super Bowl.
Well, that was 2 years ago. They lost guys. Well, Joe Montana did. How many years ago was that? Want to give him a contract too? I mean,
come on.
I like him. You're misunderstanding. I like him.
No, I know you do.
I don't think he's a difference maker.
But you don't think he's worth 50?
No,
I think he's completely worth 50. I think he's worth 55. Like I think he's. Again, we've talked about this. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Burrow, and maybe Stafford. Although Stafford's a different category because he's older. See, Herbert hasn't proven it to me yet. He didn't look great in the playoffs. He hasn't done it in the playoffs yet. Well, Purdy has.
I think the only reason they made it to the playoffs is because of him. Though.
Well, I mean, that's where the argument kind of comes, right? Because Purdy's gone to the Super Bowl. Herbert couldn't even hold a 28-0 lead. Am I being facetious a little bit? Of course I am, because it's not all him. It's not completely his fault, but he hasn't had the success in the playoff that Purdy has. So I'm willing to lump Purdy in with Herbert, Love, Hurts, Goff, Stroud. Daniels is different because I want to see one more year of him, but he might be one of those other ones where I put above him too, where he might be special. And that's just the price that you pay for a really good quarterback. But I get what you're saying. My thing is, if you pay him now, you may actually save money. Because what if he comes back this year and has a great year? Now you may be looking at over $60 million in next year. So I don't know.
Well, we'll get him. He has 1 year left on the contract. Yep. If he has a great year and he wants to bargain that way, you can always franchise him the following year. And if you do that,
you're just pissing him off.
Well, I know it's a business, though. You got to remember.
No, I get it. But if he has a great year this year and you franchise him, I mean, that'd be like an asshole thing to do, wouldn't it?
No, that's why I said maybe negotiate for 1 year and say, hey, prove it to us this year that you can lead us to where we want to be without some of the components that you've had in the past.
Okay.
And if he does that, then he's worth probably $60 million.
Okay.
If he doesn't, well, then you got a decision to make.
Yeah. See, my hope would be you sign him for 50. And then 52, 53, whatever. And again, this isn't all AAV. It's guaranteed money, right? Yeah. Football is all guaranteed money. So here's the way I look at it. If a guy signs for, let's say he signs for $250 million for 5 years, and you're thinking, oh, that's $50 million a year. You'd be right. But when you look at guaranteed money, let's say it's only 180. So now he's only making about $38 million a year because you can cut him after that 5th year and only absorb that. So it's not what you think it is in terms of contract and money. And I know if you cut him after the 4th year, it'd be 4 for one. I forget what I said, 188 or 130, whatever it is. But it's all about the guaranteed money. I'm thinking if you sign him this year and he plays well, you may end up having a bargain. Because you remember Garoppolo was the highest paid quarterback for 3 seconds?
Yeah.
And there was in no world ever was Jimmy Garoppolo the best quarterback in the NFL.
And he went to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, ever. He did.
I know.
But he never was. And then what happened? 2 years later, he's 15th.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's always going to keep jumping and keep jumping. So,
and
the salary cap keeps going up.
It's the market. That is definitely the market. $50 million right now is what the market dictates. That's what he should make.
Yeah.
I just personally, I look at the guys you talked about before and the difference makers. And if you're happy with, hey, let's eke into the playoffs, let's get there and maybe have a chance to win, then he probably is your guy. If you're looking for a guy to put you over the edge that is going to win those games, that's going to take it into his hands and win those games, I don't know, and I don't believe he's that guy. Not that he can't be. He's still young.
Yeah.
He's still very young. But I look at the guy, I mean, the elite
But how many of those guys are there?
Well, there's 4 or 5, like you said.
That's it. So,
but those are the 4 or 5 that are going to keep winning the Super Bowl.
No, I know, but you got to pay somebody.
You do. I mean, that's one of the things. Coming to the draft, I don't know why you draft a quarterback. Honestly,
Really,
I think.
Yeah, but look at the playoffs last year. They're all first rounders, except for Hurts, who won the Super Bowl, and I think Russell Wilson, who was a third rounder.
Yes.
And that was it. Everybody else is first rounders. That's why everybody reaches for quarterbacks.
Well, 2 years ago, we had Purdy was in the Super Bowl at the last pick.
Yes, he was.
So it's not necessarily. That's
you're right. And he played against a first rounder.
He did.
And Mahomes. I mean, it happens occasionally. But maybe the Niners got lightning in a bottle. Where I'm not saying he's Tom Brady, of course, but you got one of those late round picks who, thank God, they got him too, because he made it for that Trey Lance blunder. And I don't blame him. Do you blame him for that? Because I don't blame him for what they tried to do.
I do.
Do you really?
I do. I think that they mortgaged their future by giving away all those first round picks. And you really, really saw it this year in the lack of depth they had. If they have those first round picks, those 3 first round picks, maybe
if you hit on them.
Even if you don't hit on them, if you have 3 first round picks and they're mediocre players at all, they're either starting or they're key backups. Well, with the injuries they had this year, they had no key backups, and they were putting guys in there that really shouldn't have been playing.
Yeah.
And then it trickles down from there because now your backups are playing and they probably shouldn't be. And you got to get guys off the practice squad to come and do your special teams. And they've been god awful on special teams over the last few years. And that's the effect that it has. But the lack of depth, if they had a backup offensive lineman or a backup D-line, D-tackle, or another backup linebacker for when, the Greenlaw goes down and those types of things, you'd be much better. But they lost that when they gave those picks away. And it seems like everybody wants to give them a pass on it. I don't give them a pass on it. They got bailed out because Purdy was, as productive as he's been. That was, that doesn't happen very often.
No, I don't give them a pass on it, but I don't blame them for doing it because they probably figured we're not going to be this high again. Let's try to get a rookie quarterback on a rookie pay scale where you get the 4 years and a 5th-year option, and then we can really load up on the rest of the roster. So to me, it made sense. And you could say they just drafted the wrong guy. It didn't matter who they drafted. After Lawrence, who really hasn't proven anything yet anyway, right? Who are you going to get?
Well,
Zach Wilson? No.
I actually think Lance would have been around at their original pick that they gave up.
Maybe. Well, Mac Jones certainly would have been. Yeah. Well, they did say that because the Niners traded so early that year, that some of the teams that were interested in Mac Jones decided not to trade to try to get Mac Jones. That's why he fell so. But look, it doesn't really matter who it is. Mac Jones, no. Fields, no. Wilson, he was gone, but no. And Lance, no. They were going to lose either way.
Well, that goes.
But I don't mind them trying that.
But it goes back to the why take a quarterback in the first round for those reasons. I mean,
because you need one.
A splash, and your fan base really wants to see a big name come. A splash is not a big lineman that you don't know much about. That doesn't make a splash, but that's what wins games, and that's why we talked about it. I like the pick from yesterday.
Yeah.
I would love to see them go with O-line today or D-tackle again, because up front is where the game's won. Yeah. And you can have the greatest quarterback in the world, the greatest running back in the world, 2 good receivers. If you don't have time to throw, it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
And if you can't stop anybody on the other side of the ball, you're not going to get the ball offensively. So I think you got to work from the inside out, and you really got to build your trenches. You got to get better offensive linemen. You got to get better defensive linemen, and then build from there. And through the free agency, they've shown that receivers are available. You can always get receivers on free agency.
I would never draft a receiver in the first round.
And running backs, I mean, they've done a wonderful job with getting running backs. The guys we haven't heard of, they come in, they're really productive. Every year they've got
Breida, Wilson, Mostert, those type of guys.
They've got the 2 guys they had this past year. And then even Elijah Mitchell, who's been hurt, was very good as well. Yeah. And then quarterback-wise, I think you go after a free agent. You're doesn't necessarily have to be a Josh Allen. I look at a Kirk Cousins when he was back in his prime and he was floating around to different teams. Guys like that can manage a good team and go far. And that's where I would look.
Yeah.
And that's my opinion.
Although Cousins hasn't done shit in the playoffs.
No, I'm just using his name because it's, he was one that at the time when he was first coming back, out of the Washington now Commanders. When he left them, he was still pretty much at his prime.
They were the Redskins at one point.
They were the Redskins at that time.
Don't get mad.
And I think Shanahan wanted him to come.
Even Bunny says, Bunny came over here and goes, bro, they're the Redskins.
He's trying to show his skills.
You just say what they were, right? It's one of those type deals. So, are you going to sit here all day? Apparently, she is. I thought maybe I might have a little bit of a respite, but apparently not. I mean, look, there's a reason though teams reach for quarterbacks, because first round quarterbacks get to the playoffs more than second, third, fourth, fifth. I mean, it's everyone. Oh, there she goes. It's okay if you get down. It's okay. Come on. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, look, I love you, but need a little space. What do you say? She's like, all right, let me go. Let me see what's going on. Like, I'm with you on that, but if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have shit in the NFL. Like, you don't have anything. And some teams get lucky. And let's call it what it is. Niners got lucky. If they knew he was going to be this good, they'd have drafted him way before that. Patriots got lucky with Brady. If they knew he was going to be that good, they'd have drafted him way before that. Like, so every once in a while, you get lucky and get a quarterback that can lead you to the playoffs. It's not a high draft pick. But, man, when you don't have a guy, problem is there's a lot of first-round draft picks that didn't make the playoffs that suck, that kill your cap and kill everything else. But if you don't have that guy, my goodness.
Well,
we've seen bad quarterback play.
You just talked about it. There's only 4 or 5 guys.
That's it. There. That's it.
And we're talking about last year, I believe there was 5 picked in the first 12 picks.
I know.
If I'm not mistaken.
I know.
And obviously, most of those 5 had a good year.
And we'll see if they have a good year this year.
If they continue, but that's an anomaly.
Yeah.
And if there's only 4 or 5 that we think are difference makers, then why are you wasting a top pick? If there's only 4 or 5 out there,
you're hoping to get one of those 4 or 5.
Through evaluations, I mean, there's very few Tom Brady's. This doesn't happen.
Well, hell, Tom Brady wasn't Tom Brady before he became Tom Brady.
But I mean, look at this year's draft. Is Cam Ward a difference maker?
I don't know.
I mean, with your evaluation, watching him, I think he's a good player. Yeah, it's too early to say, but I wouldn't call him a difference maker. I don't know if he has those.
May your quarterback be a difference maker. That's why they drafted him. Because they got tired of watching fucking Will Levis throw to the other team.
Another first-round pick.
Yeah. Was he or second? I think Will might have been second.
Oh, he may have been second.
Might have been early second.
He
might
have been
biceps,
second.
though. But, man, he can really throw to the – he can throw to the other team with the best of them.
Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah,
throw it a mile.
Well, he didn't care. He just didn't give a shit. I mean, if you got to care a little bit about your craft. I don't think he cared at all.
You know who the other guy that was a big combine guy that played a lot of years in the league but never really lived up to was Jeff George. Big arm.
Yeah, big arm.
And he bounced around for a lot of teams, but
big arm.
He was one of those combine guys, man. He could throw the ball 95 yards.
Can I give you a great oh, by the way, we got our pizza. So if anybody wants to roll out and pick it up off the porch. We don't have to eat it now, but I figured we'd get it before some hobo comes and takes our pizza off the porch. I'm going to give you a story I got yesterday. I won't tell you who it's from.
All right.
But you just mentioned Jeff George, and let's see. Oh, so this is the guy that was with Jeff George, with the Redskins. That's what they were called. First meeting with, I think it was Brian Schottenheimer, and Marty Schottenheimer was the head coach. Jimmy Ray was the offensive coordinator. Brian, 27-year-old QB, tells. Talking to Jeff George, who was 34. He's trying to show Jeff some tape, and Jeff says, how do you know? I've thrown for 30,000 yards in the NFL. You didn't even start in college.
That sounds about right.
And you know what he said?
What?
It didn't get better from there. And that's how you go from having incredible arm talent to just being a guy that never quite makes it. Never quite makes it. Because Jeff George, that guy, I mean, he had a rocket, and he didn't get it. And that's the thing about being a quarterback is you can see the throws, you can see the tangibles, but you don't know if a guy's a leader, if a guy can command a huddle, if a guy can lead a team, can lead men, and he's committed. There's always stories about Peyton and Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, of course, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, that just devoured tape and just loved it. They loved it. And I remember Steve Young telling me that, you just got to embrace that. You got to love to do it. And some guys just don't. Right. And it's okay. But you just, if you're going to lead a team, but that's what you need to know really as a team. You need to figure that shit out. Because if you get one of those guys, you're screwed.
Well, and then conversely, you get the Kyler Murrays, where I think I've shared with you a story that I'd heard about you always want to take the opponent. Take the opponent of who the Cardinals are playing the day after the new Call of Duty comes out. Because he wasn't going to be watching any film.
How great is that? That is so good. Call of Duty's out. I'm not watching film this week. We're good. I got to get my my AK-47 on and go kill some
dudes. Who we playing this week?
I got to go kill some dudes in Maine. Some 13-year-olds in Maine. I got to light them up. We're all good to go. Yeah, Kyler Murray. Well, I mean, how sad is that, though?
Yeah.
You got to have a clause when you sign your contract. Like, you got to study a certain amount of time. Like, that to me, they took it out, of course. But even the fact they had to do that, I'm like, well, that tells me all I need to know about that guy.
But just the fact they put it in there, at least he's aware that they know.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not watching film. What his play shows, when he plays, he does a lot of great things.
Amazing athlete, amazing arm.
Amazing. He's got great feet. He's got good instincts.
Yep.
There's a guy that, you look at the combine, he would do terrible in the combine.
Yep.
He's 5'9", 5'10". His arm strength is good, not great, but he's got a quick release.
Yeah.
And his feet are just phenomenal. And he just goes against the grain that way. But it didn't hurt his draft status, that's for sure.
Nope.
But if he would put more time into it,
that,
but if you put more time into it and study the game, who knows how good he could be?
Yeah.
Because he's got stuff you can't coach.
Yeah. God damn, I got to say it's pretty hot. I got to turn this down a little bit. Oh,
that's up.
Okay, let's keep it all the way down. Well, we turned it on because it was
raining.
Hold on a second. Did I actually say I could do this like 30 minutes ago? Like, I could do it. Oh, I could do it. And then I just fuck it up. What a dumbass. Are you kidding me? What happened? It's not even anymore. Okay, I'm sorry. Help. I said, oh, come on. That can't be right.
You got to be smarter than the microphone.
I'm not. I apparently I knocked it over and something happened. I don't think it's even down there.
That's off the ground.
Yeah, I don't know how I screwed that up. I don't know. All right, Lou, we're getting it done. So we got Lou. Lou's on Ogden now. It's all over Ogden. Bunny's over there just chilling. We got the full farm. We got the sun out. Full farm. We're good to go. Do we have the graphic of the first round picks?
Oh, first round pick.
Yeah, if we have them. What time is it, by the way? Because the second round started.
Yeah, pick is in. First pick is in.
Who is it? Who did the Browns take?
Hold on, I'm fighting through Lou here.
I'm going to say Travion Henderson.
Oh, you're going to go Travion Henderson? I heard a lot of Milrow. People were obviously guessing Shador Stand. Oh, the linebacker of UCLA.
Oh, yeah. That's a little higher than he was supposed to go.
Yeah, he's good, though.
He is a good player.
I watched UCLA a few times. They had a good defense last year. I couldn't tell you many of their players on offense, but I remember him. That dude was like sideline to sideline, just one of those maniacs.
Yeah. Good player.
They got after it.
That's a good solid, and they have so many holes they have to fill.
Yeah.
I think they did a nice job with their draft yesterday, trading that pick, getting all these future picks, because they're not going to be competitive this year no matter what.
And getting Mason Graham.
Graham. And it's going to take them a while to get back. They have to address their quarterback situation, because I think Deshaun Watson, obviously his better days are behind him, but I don't know if he'll ever play a snap for them again.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so we got Cam Ward going number 1 last year. We talked last year. Travis Hunter, who was incredible. And I should mention, too, I kind of buried the lead a little bit when I was talking about my friend Bergie here, who I've known for 40 years, one of my best friends. He was an All-American football player as well. And he came out of Cloverdale High School, and there was like 2 All-Americans that came out of Cloverdale within like a 2-year span. It was Bergie and my roommate, Craig McMillan, who coaches now at Santa Rosa Junior College. Like, the odds of 2 All-Americans, there were more All-Americans out of Cloverdale than there were traffic lights for a number of years.
Doubled it.
You doubled it. Well, there were none. So I don't even know how to do that. I don't know how to do the NASA calculations and everything.
That'd be 1.
Yeah, I guess it would be.
Yeah.
But
you
had
missed
2.
that damn math.
So you were football. Bergie was a football American and ended up playing on our Final Four team as well. That's how good an athlete he was. We had some defections and some injuries, and Coach Olson asked if anybody knew of anybody that come practice with us. So it was good enough to practice with us. And Craig McMillan said, yeah, I'll ask Bergie if he wants to come and play. And Bergie said, well, yeah, I don't run the options. I'm not playing. I'll come play basketball with you guys. So he came play basketball with us, and he was on the team for the better part of our senior year that went to the Final Four. So, I mean, go figure. Out of Cloverdale High School, two
Home of the Eagles.
Two All-Americans recruited by BYU. Mike Holmgren was the offensive coordinator there when he was being recruited. And then he left. So Bergie ended up going to Arizona and then finished his career at Santa Clara. So him and Bergie was so successful, he helped shut the program down at Santa Clara. So that was fantastic. Way to go. So him and Brent Jones have that in common. They're both Santa Clara Broncos.
That's right.
Is what they are.
We hold that Bronco degree, which is
that's big time.
That's a great thing.
Big
Terrific
time.
School.
And you put that to good use.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, by coaching high school football. I have no degree, and I put that to good use. So we're all good there. What do you think of Travis Hunter? And
I love him.
Do you?
I think he's really good.
Yeah.
It's I think what he does translates well to the NFL. I don't know if he's I hope he can do it. I'd love to see a guy be able to be a full-time offensive and defensive player. I just don't know if it's possible.
A lot.
That's a lot.
Can you do it? So like when I'm like asking about game planning and stuff like this, I always ask Berg these questions because he understands, and maybe we'll get into Shanahan a little bit later on, but play sequencing and stuff. Bergie's an offensive guy. He called all the plays for the offense at Monte Vista, and he also coached, San Jose State. So, like, I always trust Bergie when it comes to, what should I be looking for when it's certain plays and how to play sequence with others and how to set different plays up. And I've always wondered that. So you'll know this question: how tough would it be during the week when you have to install stuff? And tell people, I know a little bit about this, but everybody always says install.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean from your standpoint? Like, you're a coach and you're installing offense and defense for that week. What does that take me through that so everybody out there understands when somebody says install what they mean?
Well, it's going to start at the OTAs. I mean, it really starts there because the playbooks in the NFL, both sides of the ball are so big, and you need to know those before you even set foot on the field. And a true professional will do that. You have to study that thing. And so when you go to OTAs, you're expected to know a lot of the terminology already and the formations because you've read through them. And that's part of the process in the draft is can guys absorb those types of things? Can they handle the workload? Can they handle what we're putting in? And so in the OTAs, they'll rep all those things. You'll get through the basics of the offense and the basics of the defense. Okay. And then week to week, once you start the season, little tweaks are made here and there because you're going to face multiple fronts. And every defense is different. They do different things.
Multiple fronts, what does that mean?
You're going to face odd fronts, which is what teams that play with a nose guard and three down loud. So you hear the term of 34 or a four-man front, 4-3, 4-4. Different looks every game. Most teams will play probably three different fronts.
Okay.
And so you've got to work against those things, and you're going to make tweaks to your offensive game plan as to what they're doing defensively. You stay with your basics and the things that you've been doing since the OTAs, but your blocking schemes will differ a little bit because the front's different.
So it's predicated on the front.
It's predicated on the front, and most of the things that they do offensively, they have rules as far as, if I'm covered, I do this. If I'm not, I do this, and things that you rep. So no matter what front they run, you can apply your rule, but you work against it all week. And so you're going through that. You're going through all that process each week. And if you're trying to do it on both sides of the ball, I think what they're going to have to do is he's going to have to spend most of his time offensively because you got to know the inside out of what you're doing offensively. And I got to believe that if he's in there defensively, you're going to get a lot of man coverage because that's one thing he can continue to work on in practice. And if you're playing man, it's pretty simple. I know I got him. I got number one on the weak side, whatever they're doing, and I'm going to match up with that guy. So he'll get his one-on-one stuff, but he doesn't have to watch as much film defensively if that's what they're doing. If they're trying to play a lot of zones and disguise a lot of different things, it's going to be tough because offensive teams throw so many formations at you. You've got to know those adjustments. You only get to know those through meetings and practice. And if he's only doing, if he's able to go to half of one mean and half of another, I think that it's going to be more beneficial for him to do offense as far as meetings go. And
Yep.
defense just let his athleticism take over and play a lot of man coverage.
When people talk about terminology and different terminology for teams, does that just mean like different groupings of like, let's say, I mean, green fern could be trips left or purple, whatever that is, fucking bushes could be like a 12 alignment. Or is that what they talk about with terminology? Like everything has a corresponding like formation?
Yeah. There's so many different systems in the league.
Okay.
A lot of it has been based off what they call the West Coast system. And a lot of it's based off what Don Coryell did too in San Diego a long time ago. He was very innovative with the pass game, way ahead of his time, but everything's predicated off of, certain systems might use colors as formations. Certain systems might use other terms as formations. They may number their routes. They may call their routes cat or kitty. They have different routes like that. They'll say, 2-jet slide kitty, something like that. That's a formation, which way we're going to slide, the route that we're going to run. And then there's other plays that might be tray right scat 824 H4, where you have numbers and the number goes to the corresponding receiver.
Okay.
All depends on what system you're running. If you're going from team to team or going from a system that runs one thing to the other, it's a lot of change.
Yeah.
It may look like the same plays, but it's different terminology. I love the term nomenclature. That's one of the terms that always gets thrown around in football. The nomenclature of that system is different than the nomenclature of another system.
Yep.
So if you're going to pick up one of those things, it's hard to immediately transfer to the other one. So that's why you'll see a guy like Kirk Cousins. And I know that there was talk of him not years ago, but when he left Washington, that he might come here because of the fact that he knows the system. He knows the nomenclature. He knows the formations. And there's very little teaching involved with him. He's going to know that stuff, as opposed to somebody new coming in like Jimmy Garoppolo having to learn what they were doing in New England. Now the whole different terminology system, and you got to be pretty smart. And the guys who succeeded that are really sharp.
Did you ever use, like, when you were the head coach, did you ever use like funny terminology or anything like that to call in a play?
Oh yeah. We used to use, I can say it now, I never would have said it when I was playing, but we ran all no huddle and everything was done. And I would use just word association. And so like a screen, a bubble screen would be chewing gum.
Yep.
That's a chewing gum. In screen, we call it in window because a window's got a screen.
Okay.
Different things like that. Stripes would be all go because we're running straight up the field, things like that.
Okay.
And just terminology, things that would associate with what you're trying to do and made it easier for them to learn.
You didn't have New York Bozo?
Never had New
York
Bozo.
Bozo.
What would that
New
be?
York Bozo. I don't know.
I didn't have Dilly Dilly either.
I don't know. Dilly Dilly in Omaha. All right. So we got Schlesinger. Is that like Swearinger from Deadwood? We got Swearinger, cocksucker. Carson Swearinger, cocksucker.
See, I want to say that, but I'm still a teacher. I can't really say that.
Oh, that's right. You can't do that anymore. That's soft. Eamon Warre, the safety for South Carolina, went to the Seahawks. Jaden Higgins, he's pretty good. I've seen him play a few times. Wide receiver for Iowa State. The Browns are on the clock.
Who are you going to guess on the Browns pick? Quick.
Oh,
no.
Wait a minute. They got a linebacker and they got a defensive tackle. So, hell, I don't know. I don't even know who's left.
Well, I'm sticking with my
original.
original.
Will Johnson. You want to go Will Johnson, the cornerback of Michigan?
That's a good pick. I'm going to stay with.
They have two good cornerbacks.
I'm going to go with Henderson or
Travion Henderson.
or Milroe.
Oh, that's a good one. Wow.
Because this would be the place to get a quarterback.
That's right.
And they need one. And they need a running back.
I like the Travion Henderson pick.
I think he's good.
I like that one.
Keep him in state.
Yep. And he can catch the ball to the backfield. He could run it. Like I like that. That's a good pick.
Hey, I was a little shocked. I thought he might.
I wish I would have thought of that.
I thought he might go ahead of the guy from North Carolina, who's good. Who's very good.
I think I just remembered his last name. I know it's Omarion, but it's Hampton, right? Omarion Hampton. Yeah. He's good.
Yeah, he's good.
That dude's a stud. Like he's a stud. Not Ashton Genty, but he's not that far.
No, he's good.
That far.
He's a little more size.
And so, all right. Before we get to, do we have the first round? Let's get back to the first round because I want to see if Bergie's seen any of these guys, and I've seen a few of them. And just give your thoughts on the first round. We'll pop that back up here. I know we had.
Well, we know we both talked about Tyler Warren.
We love Tyler Warren.
Love him.
I think we both love Abdul. You love Abdul Carter?
I love him. I think
him.
he's a fantastic player.
Yeah, well, he's top
difference
3
maker.
pick, so not that big a deal. Well, Campbell we both like. Mason Graham we both like.
Mhm.
I just love the interior. Keep going. Genty we both like. I can't even speak about Membu.
Go back to Membu. Membu, I thought was the best O-lineman on the board.
Really?
Yeah. He is. He's really good. He got good feet. Went to Missouri. He's really good.
Yep.
Played against great competition, and he dominated everybody he went against. And he went against the Niners pick. He went against all the Alabama guys. He is really good. I thought he might go ahead of Campbell, but Campbell is more of a true tackle. This guy probably more of a guard.
Really?
They're both good, both top-notch guys.
All right. What'd you think of our guy from Bear Down?
I like him.
I
don't know.
I'm a big fan of his hands.
I am too. He's big.
He catches it out in front of him, and he's a big guy.
Strong with the ball. He goes up and gets it.
Yeah, I'm a fan of his.
I think. Do you think it was a little bit of a stretch that high?
Well, I mean, you're probably thinking we need to get Bryce Young more weapons. They have Leggett, the pick last year from South Carolina, who was pretty good. And look, I thought there was a couple week period there where I thought this could go really poorly for Bryce Young. Like it's just going to collapse and it's over. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh,
yeah,
they might have something there. They might have. So giving him more weapons, I actually like the pick. Like if you actually think like we might have something here, let's find out.
Yeah, let's
give him the best weapons we can give him and see what happens.
I was a little shocked with that pick though, that they might. I don't know. Maybe they did try to trade it, but maybe have somebody trade up to get something else, because I think he would have been around in the 14-15 range, and maybe somebody in that slot might have wanted to move up. They probably did try it.
Maybe.
Who knows? But
possibly. I don't know much about Kelvin Banks. What do you think about him?
I don't know much about him. You know, I like him because he's an O-lineman.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
And any O-lineman picked in the first round, I like him.
All right, Colston Loveland out of Michigan, more of a receiving tight end than Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren's more of an inline guy. This guy's a guy you split out, let him run wide receiver routes and do that kind of stuff. I like him. And Ben Johnson's probably going to have a ball with this dude. He had Laporta in Detroit, and 2 years ago, Laporta was incredible. Last year, not as much. He had some injuries that he dealt with, but I think Loveland's going to be fantastic for him. We talked about Michael Williams. Booker, I don't know much about guard. I do like Kenneth Grant. Like him and Mason Graham against Ohio State. I still have no idea what Ohio State was doing that game. Let's run it at these guys. I don't think they knew
what they were doing either.
And see what happens. Let's run it at the strength of their defense. Like, this is the best part of their team.
Yes.
Let's challenge them.
They fell right into the trap Michigan set them, and they did not do anything to expose them in the passing game. They just tried to run right at them. And you have 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
That you're sitting there. They may have become first-round picks because of that game.
Yeah. I mean, 5 and 13. Like, let's just run it at these guys.
That was really that was their strength. We saw them against Texas, and they didn't do a whole heck of a lot. But those two were awfully good.
They had no business losing to Michigan. No business losing to Michigan. But I had them plus 20, so I was happy. All right. I could use another beer, please, if anybody wants to grab one. Thank you. Bergie, need another beer?
I'll take one more, please.
Okay. Bergie's a teacher. He can't drink too much. Okay, keep scrolling. Kenneth Grant.
I can, but I don't.
We're good. Yeah, right. Tyler Warren, we talked about him. We love Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren's incredible.
He's the guy we both thought that's one player that I might go after.
Maybe, yeah.
As a Niner.
I
would not be mad about that pick. And it's an extension of your run game, an extension of your line having a tight end like that. The matchup problems that he and Kittle would have given.
There's a part of me, and I've talked about this on previous shows, that I really wanted the Niners to take Tyler Warren. I'm like, oh, that would be so awesome. But, like, the more sane part of me goes, Michael Williams probably the better pick.
I mean, by the time they got to the pick, I thought, Warren would be a good pick.
Yep.
The guy they took would be a good pick. I thought that if they took a corner, I wouldn't be really mad at that.
Okay.
Obviously, and if they took an O-lineman, I would certainly like that. So they could have gone a lot of ways that would have benefited. That did benefit them.
Dolphins have traded up to 37 for the Raiders pick.
Ooh.
So we'll see what the Dolphins
need a quarterback.
If you smell what the Dolphins
if
cooking.
If they had a quarterback that was healthy, they would have been fine.
Yeah.
But what is that?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Mike McDaniel's supposed to be an offensive guru.
Yeah.
How do you not find ways to get Tyreek Hill the ball when your quarterback goes down?
No, I had him on my fantasy team, so
I know.
I wasn't real thrilled with it. Look,
Canopy or Danksy?
I'll take Danksy.
Thanks.
I just think that you've got to find those ways. Oh, that's fine. As long as it's cold.
Or do you want the Canopy?
Tiny Danksy
Right.
in my belly. This is a collaboration between. Thank you, Daniel.
Oh, pretty
Between Cellar Maker and Sante and Darius. This is a fantastic beer. And you may be thinking, wow, that's three beers already, Tom. I'm in my backyard, so fuck off. It doesn't matter. So I believe we skipped. Okay, I don't know Jonah.
Offensive lineman. Yeah, he's from
the
Arizona.
guy from Arizona.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did they take him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good pick.
You like him?
Yeah, I do. I was hoping he would slide a little bit more. That's the guy I was hoping that the Niners would target in the second round.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I knew it'd be a reach though, but he certainly didn't slide at all.
Bear down. There you go. Well done, Jonah.
Why did we not win more games when we have 2 picks in the top 37?
Don't get me started on that. Don't do that. You know what though? Brennan wore an incredible lay though. The lay, that was styling. I wish we'd had more wins and more lay. And I like Brent Brennan too. He coached at San Jose.
Oh, he's a great guy.
He was
Terrific
great
coach,
at San
great
Jose.
guy. Yeah, he's going to do fine.
Yeah,
You know
things
what?
just went to. They were just.
Well,
Yeah,
not just
that was last year was rough.
I mean, who wants to coach in college now? The way it's with what's going
Yeah.
on, it's a mass exodus. If you can get out, they try and get out. I look at Chip Kelly; he's back to the NFL. And
Well, remember the year, and this isn't completely analogous. Remember the year? This is back in the '90s when Arizona came into the season ranked like 2 or 3.
Desert
It's
Swarm.
like the Desert Swarm.
Yeah.
They beat Nebraska in the maybe it was a Holiday Bowl, and they had they had some good players on that team, and they were ranked high, and they went to Penn State and just got their
They got
asses handed
smoked.
to them, like
Yes, I remember
41-14, just
Yeah.
crushed. And that, again, not completely analogous, but last year was supposed to be they beat Oklahoma in a bowl game. I want to say it was the Alamo Bowl, coming off a really good year. I don't know if they had 10 wins, 10 wins, but really good year. They're
quarterback stuck around.
Yeah, the wide receiver.
stuck around.
They were 15th
Yeah.
in the country. And then no.
Yeah, it's tough though because
Can't just have nice things.
they changed
That's all I want.
systems and they changed the term. They changed the nomenclature.
Nomenclature.
And they didn't pick it up as quickly as they probably thought they would. That's for
Well,
sure. It takes a
fucking
while.
pick it up. Jesus.
Well, now it's going to be
What
like
are we
that every
doing?
year for every team because you got guys coming and going after 1 year. So everybody's going to have to relearn things.
Yeah.
And you got to recruit your own guys.
Yeah. Well, that's a different show.
Yeah.
We can get into that at some other point. All right. Put up the other first round picks. Let's get into those. See what we got. So I like Jalen Walker. I like. Now, some people had him mocked to the Niners if he got that far. I didn't love him for the Niners because I don't know if he's a pure backer. He's more of an outside edge guy. But
He and Williams are about the same guy.
no, he's 240. Williams 260.
Yeah.
So
But
Williams,
the same position.
yes, exactly. But Williams is an edge setter.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they really wanted. Some people were upset, like, oh, great. We got the 11th pick. We got an edge setter. I'm like, calm down, okay? That's not all he is an edge setter. But I think people, well, I mean, it's Twitter, so I shouldn't expect too much. But people underestimate how important edge setting is. It's important.
I can't tell you how many times I would go nuts last year watching the Niners, and Nick Bosa would fight down inside, not set the edge. He's notorious for not setting the edge. He plays with such a full motor, and teams bait him. They didn't leave him unblocked. He'll come screaming down. Next thing you know, the ball's bouncing outside. You need somebody that can do that, and that's an art. I mean, it's not easy when you're dealing with 320-pound tackles and guys chipping you, trying to get out there. It's an art to do it, and to have somebody that can do it consistently, huge bonus.
Yeah. No, I think Walker may be a guy that can get to the quarterback. Maybe has a little more wit, a little more wiggle, a little more quick twitch. But I think Williams is a guy that they wanted. Walter Nolan's another guy that was maybe mocked to the Niners late in the draft. I like him. Like, I just wonder. I always wonder about these guys that go from school to school to school, like just looking for a better deal. Like, hey, let me go somewhere else, get a better deal. Let me go somewhere else, get a better deal. But he can get to the quarterback, and he's a guy who I think is more of a 3 technique that's going to penetrate and get into the backfield. But to me, that's not look. I'm not going to say you don't want that. Everybody could want that, and anybody should want that. But I think the Niners need some guys who are stout that can just stop the run. Period.
You need run stoppers.
Yeah.
And the kid that's out of Oregon, I forget where he went.
Oh, Harmon.
I
think he went to the Steelers.
That's the kind of guy you're looking for.
Yeah.
Somebody who can stop the run, can plug it up, that's going to force a double team. You have to force a double team on that.
There you go. That's Harmon. Okay, let's back up a little bit.
Get back to Zabel.
Shamar Stewart. That's the guy who was a toolsy guy. Didn't have production, but was a toolsy guy. He goes to the Bengals. And you said you like Gray Zabel.
I loved him. I watched him at the
Love
Senior Bowl.
Name. How great a name is that? Gray Zabel?
The Senior Bowl is a true evaluation. The coaches get a week to work with these guys, put them through the drills against other guys that are going to get drafted. He dominated. He dominated in the game. He dominated in practice against all those guys that were the Senior Bowl that are all getting drafted first and second round.
Yep. What do you think about Emeka Buga?
You know what? Ohio State wide receiver. I think that's honestly, they put out
Georgia defensive lineman, Ohio State wide receiver. You're good.
Everybody does well that comes out of there, it seems like.
Is there anybody that we'll just kind of scroll through them a little bit? Because Barron's the guy who's a cornerback, kind of a slot guy out of Texas. Derek Harmon's the guy Bergie just talked about from Oregon, the defensive tackle. We talked about Amarian Hampton.
I think Golden, you
like him?
I do. I like him. I think that was a really good pick for Green Bay, giving Love something else to throw to. I thought by the end of the season, he was one of the best, if not the best receiver in the country.
Really?
Doesn't mean he's going to be the best in the NFL, but in college football, I thought at that time, he was tough. He was tough to cover. And they add one more piece to their puzzle. And, I thought that they were lacking in the receiver category.
Yeah.
They had some decent guys, but nothing. I think this guy can stretch the field, and he runs good routes, and he gives them a different dimension.
Yeah. Giants come get Jackson Dart. What do you think about Jackson Dart?
I like him, but he go back to that same thing. He bounced around from USC and Ole Miss. Not that, I think he's got, I hate that term, upside.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but he's played in a pro style system with Lane Kiffin. He's made the throws that you need to see. He's played a lot of football, and he's got a lot of starts under his belt against SEC competition. He can do it. And I think that's a great situation to be in, because you got Justin Fields and Russell Wilson both there now. If I'm not, are they? No, not Russell Wilson. I'm trying to think who
the Giants?
Yeah.
No, they got Russell Wilson
and Justin Fields, right?
Jameis.
Oh,
Jameis Winston.
Winston.
Yeah.
But he got two guys that with a lot of experience that he doesn't have to go in and start. He can watch and learn. And I think there's a big benefit to that. Jordan Love, I think, really benefited from it. Aaron Rodgers really benefited from it. I think he'll benefit from it as well.
Yep. Interesting that the Falcons trade a 1 to come back up and get Pierce Jr. from Tennessee when they already have a edge guy. Yeah. But we'll see how that works out. I literally hate when people are like, "Oh, grade the draft, grade the trades. How are the trades?" I'm like, "Well, fucking come back in 2028. I'll let you know." Like, no one knows, but everybody wants to know now. Everybody has to know right now. Let me know. Did my team win the trade? Did my team not win the trade? So if somebody from ESPN comes on and goes, "Your team won the trade," they can go to bed happy. You get a sad fucking life if that's going to make you happy. I'll tell you that right now. Malachi Starks.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though.
That's a pick. I think
how about Starks and Hamilton as your safeties?
I think they're
going to have some safeties in Baltimore.
If I was to look at the whole draft and go, what guy fits the personality of the team immediately, it's him.
Yeah.
He fits that personality defensively. He can do it all. I think he's a really good player. I think he's going to come in and make an impact immediately for a defense that's already good.
Yeah, he's good. All right, keep scrolling. Williams, Tyleek Williams, defensive tackle. Josh Connolly. Harrison, the cornerback out of what about Jihad Campbell? The Eagles are amazing. The Eagles, they trade up one spot, just one spot, because they wanted to get Jihad Campbell. I don't know if he was supposed to go to I don't know if the Chiefs were sniffing around, maybe going to get him,
or somebody else that just was going to
could have been
to trade up.
Yeah, that's probably more likely, because the Chiefs definitely need offensive line help. So that didn't surprise me at all.
Well, everybody's had. I mean, not everybody. A lot of teams had him in the top 10.
Did
And
they?
I think their feeling was, we're going to get a top 10 guy, and we only have to get trade up one spot.
Yeah.
And
Howie Roseman kind of likes SEC defenders, doesn't he?
well, there's a reason they're good.
I mean, let's just get, look, that's why I love Michael Williams, right? He's a Georgia defensive lineman. Do you think that worked okay?
Yeah.
For Philadelphia? What do they have? 3 of them? They have Davis, they have Smith, and Carter. They have 3 Georgia, 3 of them.
3 good ones.
Yeah, 3 Georgia defensive linemen, and said, we're good. We're good. We're solid there. So, yeah, if you draft the Georgia defensive lineman, I'm just going to go ahead and say, you know what? I like the pick. So I like the Niners pick.
Yes.
And I like it for what they want to do. I like it for what he can do. I like the fact that he was at Georgia, who keeps spitting out incredible defensive linemen. And
Nakobe Dean also.
Nakobe Dean, yeah, that's right. He's a linebacker for the Eagles as well. Absolutely. So, no, they just Trayvon Henderson went to the Patriots.
I tell you what, I think the Patriots have had a great draft just immediately with the first 2 guys. I mean, with the guy, the lineman from LSU,
Campbell
and now
and
the running back,
okay,
who I think is really good.
I like Henderson.
All right, the next pick should be a quarterback.
No, not the Bears.
No, not the Bears. I'm looking on the
You're
clock.
looking at the Saints. Yeah. Maybe the Saints. Maybe we can do what everybody else does, spend 30 minutes talking about Shedeur Sanders.
Well,
or maybe not.
On a personal note, I hope they don't take a quarterback because Jay Kaner's there.
Absolutely, yeah.
And he really likes the new coach,
Yeah.
the Cowboy Boise State guy, Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore, yeah, I like Kellen Moore.
He likes
I
him
like
a lot.
Kellen Moore. Yeah, it's funny. Like I don't really care that much about Shedeur Sanders, but it can't help. Either you love him or it turns you off when the guy feels like he's a walking Instagram branding machine before he ever gets to the NFL. I don't even know what the $squared is. And I don't know what that is. He says legendary literally every time he speaks. I'm assuming that's like a hat, that legendary hat. It's like, why don't you fucking play? Why don't you play first? Okay, you're not your dad. Your dad was a football player, then a money-making marketing machine when he played. But the reason he was able to get those opportunities was because he was so good. Why don't you become good first? And Luther Burden out of Missouri.
I don't understand why they keep making a big play about why he's not picked. We got other guys that aren't picked as well that were projected just as high. Johnson, the corner. I still haven't seen his name pop up.
Well, his last name isn't Sanders.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only reason that we care about him. It's the only reason we watched
and he's
Colorado Buffalo football. Yeah, quarterback, and his name is Sanders. I mean, there's no. The only reason people watch Colorado Buffalo football was Dion, Shedeur, Travis Hunter. That was it. And they were on TV, and I'm like, they're okay. I mean, they're okay.
Travis Hunter was pretty fun to watch.
No, he was awesome. There's no doubt about it. But
the
team was okay.
No.
So I'm like, this is the problem I had with Baker Mayfield when he first came to the league. Remember, he was doing all the progressive commercials and this and that. I'm like, hey, buddy, why don't you fucking do something?
Win something.
Yeah, go do something first. And you know what? Do I see him in commercials anymore? Nope. Do I see him on ads anymore? Nope. He just plays quarterback, and he plays it well. And guys buy into it because he's like, I'm here to win, and I'm here for you guys, and I'm here to play quarterback. And like, I was not a Baker Mayfield fan the first 3 years of the league. Now I'm like, I kind of like Baker Mayfield. I like watching him play. He's tough as shit.
Yep.
He's got a good arm. I mean, he gives it up for his team, and he's a leader. And I never thought he was that when he was with Cleveland. I thought he was more concerned, and he probably wasn't, but this is a perception, more concerned with branding himself.
He's Kyler Murray, the same thing. We said that, maybe they were just a little immature. Hopefully Kyler Murray learns from his mistakes of not watching film, because he's got the tools that Baker Mayfield has. He's got that kind of savvy, different type of quarterback, but they both make plays and they both can do it. And Mayfield, I think it looks like he's taking the approach. I got to take this more as a job. This is a job, and I got to perform. I'm not going to be a performer and go out and do all the fancy things and get all the notoriety that way. I got to do it on the field.
Yeah.
And I think if Kyler Murray did the same thing, I think we'd see a lot better results. Because when he plays well, man, he's good.
No, you're right. I still hate him. I don't think he'll win anything. But look, if you're Shedeur Sanders, just play. Your play everything should emanate from your play, right? Everything. It shouldn't be, let me brand myself. Let me do my hats. Let me do this. Let me do that. And I got news for you. God doesn't do a fucking mock draft, okay? He doesn't. He doesn't give a shit where you get drafted. It's not part of his plan. God's not up there going, oh, fuck, I had Shedeur going 28 to so-and-so. Like, he doesn't give a shit. He's just not up there doing that. And if he is, then fucking guy, what are we doing? I mean, are you kidding me? Like, seriously, God damn, Lou, you're really shedding. Like, if we're praying to somebody that's doing mock drafts, and God help us, and I don't even know what that means. Like, if God is the one doing the mock drafts, God help us. God can help us. He's up there going, who the Niners going to take at 43? Let me do my second round.
Can
mock.
God play a 2 technique?
Yeah, I don't know if God can play. Well, supposedly he can play any technique. I just don't want my God doing a mock draft. Like, what do you got going on today, God? Can you help me out? Tom, hold on a second.
He may have a meeting with the Boise State coach.
Hold on a second. Doing my mock. Got my mock going. And fucking okay. What do you need? What do you need? Oh, sickle cell? Too fucking bad. I got 44 to the. No, let's see if I can go this way. Okay. Do we got any more? We got any more picks in the second round?
The Niners should be up almost on the clock.
The Niners are 43, I believe. Are they not?
Who'd the Saints take?
Niners are 43.
Pick is in.
Pick is in.
Pick is in. Well, let's go. Saints. Get it in. Let's see what we have. Damn, Bears go Bears, Saints, Bears. Okay, so we're closing in on the Niners.
Bears 2 picks.
Guy, you wonder like how people got Will Johnson so wrong, the cornerback from Michigan.
I was reading that the injury prone, a little bit of injury.
Okay.
And that was the biggest thing.
Was it?
They said if he could get through a season without getting hurt, it'd be a steal in the draft right now at this point. You know, at this point, I think it'd be worth it taking a shot. If he's got that much ability and you're worried about injury, they need a lot of
Tyler Shuck?
Yeah.
Tyler Shuck. Oh, there you go.
Oh, New Orleans.
You said the Saints for the quarterback.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you realize I saw this on ESPN today that the Saints last first round quarterback, you want to guess who it was?
Archie Manning.
Yeah, you're right. 71.
Yeah.
53 years. You haven't drafted a quarterback.
He was number one overall, wasn't he?
53 years.
I think he was number one overall.
One
if
or
I'm not
two.
mistaken.
You could
And
be
he
right.
got the shit beat out of him.
Man. he got demolished.
That was why he wanted to make sure Eli went to a team. He didn't want him to go to San Diego.
Yep.
They were terrible.
Yep.
So he was kind of the first guy that did that as a parent.
Yeah. No. It was 2 overall.
Overall.
Actually, the first guy to do that as a parent was Jack Elway.
Yeah, that's true. That's
said,
true. He used baseball
I'll
as
go play baseball.
yeah.
And get some baseball.
and that
going
didn't
there.
work out too well.
Then go play for the play for the Yankees. He had an arm though.
Oh,
Elway was like just
fun to watch.
rockets.
Favorite quarterback to watch as a kid.
Really?
Oh, I loved him.
See, I was a Moreno guy. Except when he yelled at everybody.
Marino was so good. I mean, those are the good old days. Those guys, you know, they talk about Tom Brady being the best, and he certainly probably is.
Yeah,
but
he
didn't play in the situations that those guys had to play when they're getting the crap beat out of them. There was no penalties,
and your receivers are being held.
Your receivers are being held. They're taking
5 yards.
shots 3 seconds late.
Yeah,
you get hit every single play. Your career is going to be short because of it.
Yeah,
and that's what happened. Joe Montana got the crap beat out of him, and you know he still played a long time, but nothing like what they're doing now. These guys don't get touched.
No,
they say that's why Mahomes wears number 15 because anytime you touch him, he gets 15 yards.
Yeah, I heard that one. Seems to make sense though. It really makes a lot of sense. No, that's why I always say that I'll never say someone's the best. I'll say they're among the best because
Yeah.
the eras are so different.
Mhm.
You can't compare Brady and Montana.
No,
You can't do it.
I don't think you can compare Jordan and LeBron.
No, you can't.
It's two
Can't do
different
it.
eras of basketball, which
Yep.
are completely different now
Yep.
too.
No doubt about it. So Will Johnson, Bills trade up. Okay, the Bills are traded with the Bears for pick 41. So we're not sure what the Bears are getting, but the Bills
are
obviously have somebody they want to come up and get. And I have no idea. I literally have no idea who that could be.
one of my great friends. His son is Khalil Shakur.
That's
So he's a
right.
big Bills fan. So I'll be interested to see what they take. I always tell them they're going to take a receiver. They
Yep.
need more receivers.
Yep. Son-in-law.
Son-in-law.
Son-in-law. Well, he actually
Yes,
Shakur got his tickets.
yes, he
the-
did.
The Bills Jets
Yeah.
game. We got to see Aaron Rodgers get hurt.
He got all 4 plays or 5 plays
That
of
was a
him.
treat. Aaron Rodgers four plays hurt.
Carries the flag out.
Oh, you should have seen MetLife. MetLife was like, oh,
Dead silence. Dead silence.
He had played 4 plays that year, and that was his first 4 plays with the Jets. And my God, it was deflating. But they actually came back and won on a punt return.
Yeah, we were outside the stadium leaving when he did it.
Yeah, we were taking off. I don't know what the Bills are looking for. They're looking for defense now. I mean, I don't know. What do they have offensively? They got Coleman. They got Shakir at receiver.
And they also have Amari Cooper.
They don't need tight ends. No, I think he's out.
Is he out?
I think he was a free agent, and he's still a free agent right now. They got Cook at running back.
Yep.
I don't know. I haven't watched him enough to know their offensive line situation.
Kincaid.
Maybe a D end. Maybe like that
They have
D
two
end.
good tight ends. They don't need.
Yeah,
tight end.
maybe D end out of Boston College. I'm not
A
sure.
linebacker, because they had a lot of injuries last year. Their inside backer, gosh, what's his?
I know who you're thinking of.
Great player.
I can't think of him.
And he was hurt.
Milano?
Yeah.
Milano.
He was hurt a lot, and they didn't have much else behind him. I don't know who's left on the board at the linebacker.
Is he better than those
position.
cookies though? Mint Milano? Mint Milanos are nice, but if you haven't had a Mint Milano, check them out. They're pretty good.
Pepperidge Farm.
And Pepperidge Farm.
There's a
Pepperidge
plug.
Farm remembers. Is what they do. Yeah, Lori.
Tyler Shaw, quarterback though.
Shuck. Yes, from Louisville. He went from Oregon
Yes.
to Texas Tech to Louisville, I believe.
He's one of those bouncers.
Yeah,
bouncing
he's one of
around.
those. He's one of those bouncers. So
Well, quarterbacks are bouncing around because they're looking for a place to play. It's the only position you only play one guy the whole time.
yeah,
And so you kind of got to go where you can play. So I understand.
Bounce
why he does
around.
those.
bounce around, throw it, and bounce around. So, well, I mean, everybody loved him. Everybody's like, the only knock against him was he's 26. So I don't even know if that matters that much if you can come in and play. But as you said, we didn't want the Saints to get a quarterback because
No.
we want Jake Haener to
I
get
hope he
more
can't
of a,
play.
There we go. I hope he can't play so Jake can play more.
You
All
know,
right, the Bills pick is in. I'm saying Bills. I have no idea. I'll just take a wild guess and go Bills go D end.
I'm going to go Bills go linebacker,
Okay.
possibly safety, because
Okay.
they lost. They lose Micah Hyde last year, didn't they?
And you guys can see it on the bottom of the screen there. The Bills trade 56, 62, 109 for 41, 72, and 2. I love these trades.
Oh,
where, like,
240th pick. They gave that up.
900 picks that are going back and forth. Like, okay, we're going to need this. Okay, then we're going to need this. Then we'll need that. Then we'll do this. Then what if you do that? Okay, then we'll do this. We good? All right, we're good. So I'm going to go DN for the Bills. I think the DN from Boston College is still
He's still up there. That guy's good too.
out there. Yeah,
He's
so
a rush guy. He's good.
I mean, I'm even trying to think who their DNs are.
They have.
Do they still have Von Miller?
They have Von Miller, and they
He's
signed
getting
another
old,
guy. They have Bosa now too.
Oh, they do have Joey Bosa.
Yeah.
You're right.
So I think
That's
they're going
right.
to. I think they'll go defense,
Okay.
but I don't think it'll be up front unless it's a D tackle. I'm going to go.
Who do they got tackle? They got Ed Oliver, tackle. And then I don't know who the other tackle is. I know Ed Oliver's the first one. That guy's a stud too. From
He's
Houston. He's really good.
Their back end was a little bit weak this year.
Do we have a pick? Oh, here we go.
The pick is in.
The pick is in. Let's see who it is. No,
TJ
I have
Sanders.
no
I
idea.
saw that quickly.
I have no idea who he is.
I don't know either. What is he? D tackle.
Damn, I missed it by one letter. I missed it by a letter. I needed the E.
They need that though.
Needed that. So the Niners can still get. So maybe there's something medically wrong with Will Johnson. Because I mean,
that's what they said. Well, not medically wrong, just the injuries that he had. They were worried about. That's what everything I read about. But they also the kid out of Mississippi is still out there, Trey Amos.
Okay.
And those two were ranked high. They were considered possible first-round guys.
So you're thinking cornerback here for the Niners?
Corner. I hope it's an O-lineman.
Okay.
But I'm thinking corner wouldn't.
Okay, I'm thinking corner or DN because I'm thinking if you got Micah Williams, and if you're talking about his flexibility, you can move him inside on third downs. Maybe you go get that defensive end from Boston College. Or what about the guy from Marshall?
He's another guy.
He hasn't gone either.
He hasn't gone either.
So the guy from Marshall, maybe he goes.
I mean, they're looking at a good player, a real good player. That's whoever they take is available right now.
I mean, so we're guessing. What are the no positions they're taking? They're not taking quarterback.
Not taking
running back.
Not taking a receiver.
Probably not taking a receiver. Safety. What about the guy from South Carolina? Did
Mustafa?
He did. Did he go? I don't know.
If he did go.
Yeah, I think he did. Okay, so he's out. So let's say safety's gone. So we got safety, wide receiver, running back, quarterback that are gone.
It's got to be a corner or a lineman. They're not going to look at linebacker. I don't think. If they would have looked at linebacker, they would have probably done it. The first round.
Yeah,
I think
so. Corner, either offensive, defensive line, and that's it. That's what we're going with. We've only covered like 11, 12 different positions.
Maybe a punter, maybe a kicker.
Yeah, they get another
kicker. They did a kicker
in the second round.
That one bit him. Is he still with them?
We're really
Moody?
Yeah. I like Moody. I mean, look, here's the problem with taking kickers that early is there's so much pressure on them to perform, to say I can justify that third round pick. Whereas Moody could have been so much better if he'd have been undrafted. He'd just come in there and kick and no big deal. Yeah, no pressure. But I still think you bring him in, competition, and then if he wins the competition, then you keep him. I don't think you just give him the job this year, say, hey, take it.
Yeah.
He's got
to feel some pressure.
Yeah, he hasn't done enough to say this is my job and I'm keeping it and I don't want I don't need any competition.
Well, they may be able to go get Justin Tucker.
I don't know if they want Justin Tucker.
Well,
yeah, maybe they can get Deshaun Watson too.
Yeah,
they can get Watson and Tucker in a package deal.
But you know what? Kickers,
fantastic.
It's who's hot now. I mean, the guy from Dallas came out of nowhere.
What's his name?
He was a soccer guy.
Yeah, that guy. What's the guy's name from Dallas?
Phenomenal.
He's like
Aubrey.
And
I mean, you find guys like that, maybe obscure colleges or guys from Australia.
But that guy,
he's
like 60.
Dynamite.
Bang, bang.
But it can quick like that.
It can.
It gets in their head and
it
they
hasn't with him.
Kickers are weird.
He's
got to be honest with you. Kickers are weird.
Click, click.
At every level.
Click, click. No, he's nails last year. I should have picked him up in fantasy. Somebody dropped him.
Niners are on the clock.
On the clock. Here we go. Let's see. We only covered 12 positions. Let's see if we can get one of them. I think we covered half the positions available. I'm going to go D end. I'm going to go D. No, I'm going to go cornerback. Cornerback's my pick.
I'm sticking corner.
All right, I'm going to go corner as well.
Which corner? I'm going to go.
Okay, I'll go Johnson.
I was going to go the guy from Mississippi.
You're going to go Tori Amos?
Amos.
Sing the song.
John Amos.
Not John Amos.
Amos Otis.
Amos Otis. I love Amos Otis. Kansas City Royals. Love it.
Running out of Amos's though.
Yeah. My knowledge of famous Amos.
Famous Amos.
That's nice. Yes.
Those are great cookies.
Yeah, my Amos knowledge is I can't go to the deep end of the pool on my Amos knowledge. But I can go to I can jump in just a little bit. But that's about it.
Amos Moses, was he one? That was Haven Moses.
Haven Moses. Yeah, the wide receiver punt returner for the Broncos. Yeah. Well, let's go. Give us a goddamn pick.
Well, we got to get the Jets pick first.
Here. Oh, that's right.
The Jets are picking.
The Jets are picking.
What did they pick in the first round? They took
a lineman? Yeah. Did they get Membo?
Yeah. Yes.
Is that what it was?
They
Membu?
picked the guy from Missouri.
Membu.
They have some needs too, big time.
Yeah, they got a lot of needs. They got a lot. How is it that like that team? It's so funny that it goes back to ownership so much for a lot of these teams.
Woody Johnson.
Yep, coach is bad. Oh, the GM is, and they're like, look, we always suck. Why do we always suck? Have you changed the owner?
Yeah.
Nope, haven't changed the owner. The
owner and the GM. Those are always look there.
That'll work.
The Sharks were notorious for that. How many coaches did they get rid of that actually won championships after they left the Sharks?
The Sharks? Well, I don't know. They had Boyle. Did they have a lot of? Well, Suter won with the Kings.
Didn't
I don't know. Did they?
One guy went to Detroit.
Mason Taylor.
Oh, Mason Taylor, tight end, LSU.
The LSU guy.
Yeah, I think he's Jason Taylor's nephew, isn't he, or something like that?
That I don't know.
The defensive end for the Dolphins. I think he is. He's pretty good.
He was a good player.
Mason Taylor's pretty good.
He was definitely
He is okay. Yeah. And then before him, I think Randy Moss was the tight end there.
His son.
Yeah, Randy Moss's son.
He was
the nephew of Zach Thomas.
Oh yeah, the
linebacker,
Zach Thomas.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, you know what? Maybe Jason Taylor like married one of those type deals. One of those deals. So
what deal is that?
I don't know.
Elaborate.
It's just one of those type of deals. You figure it out. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about. Just one of those type of deals. Yeah, it was funny because Randy Moss's kid, I think it's Thad Moss. For LSU.
He was part of that group with Burrow.
Yeah.
He was kind of like the fourth wheel.
Yeah. He actually came over my house. Thad Moss.
Thad Castle?
Yep. Thad Moss came over the house because they didn't live too far away when Randy was playing for the Raiders.
What do you know, Weston or?
And he comes over. Yeah, a little bit, I guess. He comes over and knocks like a Wednesday, 9:00. I'm like, the fuck is that? It's 9:00 on a Wednesday. I open the door and it's Thad Moss, and he's like, hey, can Weston come out and play? I'm like, are you serious?
Was he living here?
I'm like, they live like maybe half a mile.
For how long?
Well, when Randy was playing for the Raiders.
Okay.
So they're living exactly. So I'm like,
6 months.
I thought, are you serious? 9:00 on a Wednesday. He goes, I want to come out and play some basketball. So we had a hoop set up out there. I'm like, no, he's not going to come out and play basketball. 9:00 on a Wednesday. I wanted to say, who the fuck is watching you? Like, what are we doing? All right, we got the Niners on the clock. Alfred Collins, defensive tackle, Texas. So
I got to be honest, I don't remember him watching Texas.
I don't remember him either, but
unless he's the gigantic guy they had.
I don't know. I'd have to watch some. But I love the fact they got a DN and D tackle on the first two picks. I love it.
I'm all for it. Bolster the inside.
Yep. I think they
let me see here.
Prospect grade 6'2",
6'6", 332. Normally I'd say that's huge, but there's a lot. There's some big dudes.
That's a pretty big man,
that's a big guy.
My gosh.
10-inch hands. Got to be good.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. That's the big thing that they measure from here to here.
Okay.
So
I don't know.
Not that it makes a big difference. I guess it does for quarterbacks, but it really doesn't.
All right, scroll down a little bit. Let's see what we got down there. Production score 74. Athleticism scores. 60.
An 8-foot broad jump had to bring him down.
Yeah. I got to be honest. I'm just stalling for time. I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. I have no idea what that means. Like how good he is. Okay, played in all 10 games. 22 tackles for loss.
It's a good pick.
Like, I don't think you're looking for a bunch of tackles for loss right here with a defensive tackle. Can you stop the run? Yeah. All right. Can you be a 5 technique guy and take on double teams and just stack them up and let your linebackers get to work? So that I think that's what they're looking for. I've said this going back to 2018, 2019. When the Niners are at their best, their personality is their defensive line. That's who they are. And they bring nasty, they bring physicality, and they get to the quarterback. And they haven't had that for a couple of years now. So now they're trying to get back to that. We're look, we're going to stop the run. We're going to get to the quarterback, and that's going to be our identity. Because the last couple of years, let's be honest, the offense was the identity, right? It was Purdy, it was McCaffrey, it was Debo, it was Kittle, it was Ayuk, and they were like incredible. And something shifted. They went from a defensive first team to an offensive first team, and I think they'd like to get back to being a defensive first team.
Well, I think the big thing that shifted is they lost a lot of their key run stoppers, Armstead, Buckner.
Yep.
And when you lose those guys, you're going to lose a lot of production.
And DJ Jones.
DJ Jones.
Denver.
You know, a big key, looking at what this kid has done at Texas.
Oh, no. No. I don't want that. What is that? Why'd you do that? You just fucking up the whole show.
NFL comparison
What are we
is
doing? Like, was he gonna play half the games?
Javon Kinlaw.
Great. Lou's not a fan.
Well, you know what?
Not a fan of your NFL comparison.
This kid played in 64 college games. The kid they drafted.
Okay.
64. First of all, how can you play 64 college games?
How can you do that?
Because of the COVID year. And
so he played 6 years?
I'm reading it right there. If you go back to the graphic where it talks about how many games he played in 10, 12, 14, 16. It's crazy. You look at 2020 right there.
What is he, grandpa?
Played in 10 there, 12 there, 12 there. But that's a lot of games. And at that position shows he's pretty durable. So, that's you got to think about those things. He was able to play at a high level in Texas.
Lou, what are we doing? We're trying to break down the draft a little bit. What do you say? Do you care?
No.
Now you really don't, do you? Okay.
She wants to sleep.
That's okay. Lou.
Who's
also, by the way, Taylor was married to Thomas's sister.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
That's what I thought. Taylor was married to
2015.
Thomas's sister. Yeah. So
10 years ago already.
No, brother. All right, you know what? We're going to take a small break, beer break for everybody. We're going to get a pizza. Pizza. Let's everybody get a pizza, and then we'll come back and kind of
Little
wrap
Caesars?
it up.
Pizza?
And no, we're not doing Little Caesars. I think the pizza came an hour ago, by the way. We just set it up there, and we're going to get some pizza. Got a little Zachary's thin crust. And whatever happened to the bunny? The bunny stopped moving around. Bunny's got to be around somewhere. She's probably over there. So I don't know. So we'll come back. We'll continue. And we'll talk a little more draft, a little more Niners. We're going to get Bergie's thoughts on Kyle Shanahan, because me and him go back and forth on this all the time on Kyle Shanahan. It's kind of like the Purdy discussion where he likes Kyle Shanahan, but there's a but there. And I'm just a big fan of Kyle Shanahan, like a Kim Kardashian butt?
Not that
like
big.
that big? Jesus. Like I'm a Purdy guy, and he's like Purdy guy, a Purdy butt. It's like Disney Plus. It's like Purdy butt, Kyle butt. So we'll talk about that when we come back. But we're gonna grab a beer and grab a little pizza right here on. I was gonna say these. No, I'm not gonna say that on the Tom Tolbert Show. All right, we'll be back. We're going to take some comments too at some point. Questions. If you got any questions for Berg or myself about the draft, about the Niners, we can get into that. We just had some fine Zachary's pizza. I went off the board today. Usually I go pepperoni sausage, and then I go Berg's favorite, the Hawaiian pizza, the pineapple.
Nope.
Berg not a fan of pineapple.
Nope. Fruit doesn't go on a pizza.
Yeah. It's funny too, because pineapple pizza is, there's no like, I'm okay with it. Either you hate it or you love it. One or the other.
Well, I hate it.
I know you hate it. That's why I didn't get it. That's why I didn't get it. I'm a considerate host. So I got like a rustic Italian.
Which, by the way, is fantastic.
That was good, wasn't it?
Big chunks of garlic.
Big chunks of garlic and spicy sausage. That was fantastic. And then the other one I enjoyed too is like Louisiana hot links and cilantro.
It was good. Both excellent choices.
Yeah, don't expect it on a pizza, but that was really good. So, all right, let's get into Kyle Shanahan, because Berg, you guys don't even know how many times we go back and forth on this throughout the course of the season. It's back, it's forth, it's back and forth, and it's a little bit. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's a little like Purdy, where you like Kyle Shanahan, but you're not sure he's the guy.
There's things I love about him, and there's things I can't stand about him.
Okay. And again, Bergie's an offensive coordinator. Like he knows what he's talking about here.
I think he's second to none in play development and schemes, and second to none in his script. The script, when you script the first 15, 16 plays of a game. And I think he's terrific at that. If you go back in all the years he's been here, if you look and just did a study on how well they've done, and it's not necessarily scoring every time. It's showing a lot of different formations. It's showing a lot of different sets that way. It's moving the ball. If you don't score, you flip the field, and that's in the NFL. If you flip the field, that's a big deal. And he's been second to none in the league, in my opinion, with his script. The problem is when he gets off the script, when the script's over. Then he struggles. They come out, and they've always come out and they've done well, 7-0, 10-0, 10-7, whatever it is, and move the ball really well with that script. And then you'll never see some of those plays again. Never see some of those formations again. It's like he forgets about what got him there, and he struggles with finding what to call. And that drives me nuts. And in the second half, it's really evident when they come out and the team's made adjustments to what they did in those first 16, 17 plays. And he doesn't know what to call. And so you'll see, the Niners are not a great second. I mean, if they're playing a good team, they're not a good second half team. They've had the lead a lot, been really close with it, and that's why. What was the stat that it was when he's never won a game when they've been trailing
by 10 or something,
trailing by whatever it was?
That's over now. He's done.
It's over. Okay, but 1 in 35, whatever.
He's done it.
It's not good. And his adjustments have not been very good. When darn well when they come out at a halftime, it's a simple thing defensively. Okay, we need to do this, we need to do that. Well, offensively, you got to know what they're going to do. You got to know what shuts your offense down. As an offensive coordinator, this gives us fits. If they start doing this, this is what we have to do. That's what you have to, the adjustments that you need to make in the second half. Yeah. And I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see him making the adjustments. Some of those plays he runs in those first 15, 16, and if you slowed him down and just rewind it, look at the schemes, phenomenal. I mean, he's got guys going different ways. He's really given a lot of false reads to defenses, which you have to do in that league.
Yeah.
But they disappear, and he doesn't call those. It's like he has a thing against calling the same play more than once in a game, which if you look at Andy Reid will run the same play 10 times in a game if it's working.
Yeah.
If it's working, you keep going to it. And that's one of my biggest issues with him is what I just talked about with the plays and the adjustments. The second issue is he gets very conservative with the lead, and he doesn't know how to put his foot on somebody's throat and bury him. When you get him down, and you put him away. Let him know you can't play with us. He lets a lot of teams play with them that shouldn't. Guys maybe that don't have as many athletes as they do. If in the NFL, if you hang around, bad stuff happens. Good for the other team, but bad stuff can happen. And you want to put a team away. And I just don't see it. I don't see him putting his foot on the throat of anybody and burying them and saying, you know what, we're a lot better than you. We're going to put you away. We're going to take some shots deep and try and, impose our will on you guys. don't see that. And I think they've been superior talent-wise over the last 3 or 4 years. I really do. And they haven't been able to get it done. And it seems like it's been that way everywhere he's been. In Atlanta, in the Super Bowl, giving up that 25-point lead. They had a terrific
minute.
No. Did not
coach.
put his foot on the throat.
Wait. He did.
No.
That's why
he
they
stopped
lost.
in the second half. He stopped.
Erroneous.
I disagree with you. Erroneous on all counts.
He tried to step on his throat and fucking, instead of running the ball and kicking the field goal, which would have won the game, he decided he's going to drop back twice. One was a holding penalty.
That was one series.
But that was...
You're talking one series.
That was the fucking end of the game, though.
What about the third quarter? The third quarter, when he's trying to get through the third quarter as fast as he can by running the football and by keeping it really conservative. That's, one series at the end of the game didn't lose it for him. It was the third quarter that lost it for him.
It didn't, but it had a hand in it.
And
it had a hand.
It all had a hand in it. And you know what? That's just one. I mean, he's a terrific offensive mind. And I also think it's tough. And it's really, I can tell you this, even at the high school level, if you're the offensive coordinator and you're the head coach and you're expected to make adjustments with your offense and all those things on the sideline while your defense is out there, you're losing track of what's happening in the game. And so I think his clock management really could use a lot of work. That's an easy fix. It's an easy fix by at least having somebody that you trust and somebody that you've taught to keep you informed if you're not going to be able to do it yourself because you're trying to make those adjustments offensively. But I think that's been a big struggle. And I think you would agree with me on that, where there's been a number of times at the end of the half or specifically at the end of the first half when they've had opportunities to possibly go down and put more points on the board, where they've really kind of just tried to run the clock out or not used any timeouts when they're on defense trying to get the ball back and go down and score. So
yeah, there are times where clock management, I mean, it's so much tougher than you think it is because you're dealing with so many different things. And I don't know why every head coach in the NFL doesn't have a clock management person help him. Like at the end of every half and end of every game, timeout, no timeout, let it go. Like I have no idea. I look at the NBA now and I'm like, who are all these fucking people on the sidelines? You got 9 people on the training staff. You got 14 coaches. You got, guys that handle replay, guys that handle this, guys that handle that. It's like unbelievable. Like we used to just do it with 4 guys, Nelly and 3 coaches and a trainer, and that was it. But there's no excuse to miss something like that anymore. My whole point, like I mean, look, I'm a big fan of Kyle. I am. I like the way he calls games, and I like their offense. And my whole point is, who are you going to, like, if you want to replace him, and I don't think you do, I don't, certainly, he's one of the best coaches in the NFL, right? It's probably him, Reed. I put McVay up there. Not sure about LaFleur yet in Green Bay. I think he's a good coach, but, you could probably come up with 4 or 5 guys that are, like, really good coaches. I would put him in that category. And they were, man, if Mosley doesn't chase that in-breaking route against the Chiefs that one time and on 3rd and 15 and Tyreek Hill catches that ball, they win that game.
Easily, yeah.
And I hit my 45-1 bet. That fucking sucked, by the way. I'll never have that opportunity again. I had the Niners 45-1 to win the Super Bowl that year, and that was it. They're up 20-10, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be amazing. I'm going to be able to buy a Maserati. I didn't bet that much, but it's like, oh, this is going to be nice. Nope, clank.
Did you hedge it?
Well, I covered my initial bet.
Okay.
So I didn't lose anything, but I didn't split it because I felt good. I felt like the Niners were the better team, and they were for 3.5 quarters. And then they weren't. And then it was like touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Shit. They just got blown. But I watched that, and I remember watching that back over and over and over again, and I'm just like, what is Mosley doing?
Yeah.
You're in like a cover 3. You got deep third, and why are you chasing that guy? Who, by the way, even if he catches it,
who cares?
He's not going to get a first down.
No, who cares? Let that go.
Oh, that hurt so bad. That was like a mule kick to the nuts.
You can watch if you watch NFL film and high school film, and you just watch the coaching version of it, you're going to see the same mistakes made out of the NFL field that you're going to see in high school. Yeah. Obviously, it's happening faster, and but you see it and you go, God, they do the same stupid things that high school kids do.
Yep.
And
well, how many times do you call to play? because I hate this. In the NFL and NBA, it happens all the time. They yell at the coaches for a certain play call or what are you doing? I'm like, well, how do you know all the players did what they were supposed to do? And they're like, well, I don't know. I'm like, you'd be surprised. The coaches can call up a great play and someone will fuck it up. They'll just like completely. How many times? I'm sure it happened a lot in high school where you're just like, I just called that. What are you doing there?
Well, and you know what? And a lot of the time, the quarterback will get the blame, or an offensive lineman will get the blame when it's somebody else's problem. Let's say a protection breakdown.
Yep.
You know, you watch it and you go, God dang it, that tackle, he got killed. Well, maybe it wasn't his responsibility. Maybe he's sliding left, and that's the backs guy, and he's supposed to pick that up. But it's always the lineman that they pick out, and it looks like a glaring weakness.
Yep.
Or if the quarterback doesn't see a guy coming. Well, maybe because the line slid the wrong way and he was expecting that guy to be blocked and he couldn't see it coming. So you don't know what's happening unless you're involved in the whole in the process of what's happening. And
that's why I don't love PFF. Like I like it, but when they grade everything out, I'm like, well, how do you know what they're supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
Like unless you know what everyone's supposed to be doing, you can't grade it out.
Well, and the people get mad when coaches say, I got to look at the tape. I got to look at the film.
Of course you do.
But you know what? You can't. You'd hate to make a rash assessment of what happened without actually looking, because you know you have a ton of plays. You got to move on to the next one. If they're asking about a particular play after the game, that's the right answer. I got to look at the tape because I'm not going to call somebody out if it wasn't them doing it.
Yeah. We got anything going on in the second round? Any trades? Any Niners haven't jumped back in, have they? Didn't look like it. All right. It's nobody that I know. I've heard of Ursi that
let's say they traded up to pick
Minnesota.
him up.
The Texans did. We'll go back a little bit.
That was the Raider pick.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. There's Will Johnson. Okay, cool. All right, let's take some text if we want to, or some comments if people want to chime in and ask. What the hell are you laughing at over there? What's going on? You guys are having a good time. I feel like I'm missing out on something. Let's see. Can I ask for some some longer shorts or legs down? God dang it. Here we are. God dang it. It's fucking calf fetish. That's what the channel's going to become. Showing off for the women viewers. Oh boy. Here we go. I'm sorry. My calves are pathetic. I got nothing. I got nothing there. I don't have it. So I'm trying to expand the demographic for the show. And I'll take calf fetishes, calf porn. We'll take whatever the hell we can get on the show. So, but I mean, if you like Cavs and the Niners, that'd be cool too. Or Cavs and the Warriors, that'd be fine as well. So anybody that wants to chime on in and ask us some Niner questions, some draft questions. Oh God, I'm even afraid to see what's coming up next. I have no idea. These guys keep looking at these comments. Where did that come from? Where did that one? We're going from Cavs to Duncan and Shaq. Oh my gosh!
I'll take Tim Duncan.
Will you?
It depends. If I'm looking for offense, I'm taking Tim Duncan.
Ooh, I don't know. Shaq. Here's the thing about Shaq. Shaq was so physically dominant that if you couldn't devise a game plan to stop him, he would wreck you one-on-one.
Yes.
No one could guard him one-on-one. You could guard Duncan one-on-one, but Duncan was much better defensively. Overall, I'd probably take Duncan, but boy.
That's a win-win. That's a win-win.
Yeah, I mean, I played with Shaq, and Shaq was like just, wow.
That's a big man.
The most imposing player
big man
I've ever played with, I've ever played against. I'd never played against Wilt, obviously, but Shaq was so superior physically to anybody I ever played against that it'd be hard for me not to take him, because you had to devise a whole game plan around the way you're going to guard him, because you couldn't guard him one-on-one. You just couldn't do it. He was too fast, and not fast, but too quick, too powerful, too strong, all that. But Duncan was great. I mean, Duncan was great. He was great offensively. He was great defensively, and ended up winning 5 titles with the Spurs.
I can't think of Shaq without the hack of Shaq.
Yeah, of course.
You know, that was a big weakness in his game, though.
Yeah.
That's why I thought they should have gone back to the old 3 to make 2.
3 to make 2. That was old school. Kevin says fundamentally Duncan, but Shaq is physically unstoppable. Yeah, he was. I mean, he was unstoppable. I mean, look, you're talking about two great players. Serious question: how long do you think Hunter will play both ways? I don't know if he's going to start both ways. It seems like a lot for a rookie to do that. My guess would be start on offense, work yourself in on defense, but you would know more about that than me. I mean,
I think that's
how tough is it going to be?
It's going to be tough, but when you say play both ways, does that mean every single play? I don't think he can do that.
Yeah.
I think he'll be able to spot play specifically. On defense, third down passing situations, you get him in. Offensively, same thing. If he's played too much defense, you give him a little rest there.
Yeah,
I think you got to look at total number of plays in a game. I was listening to something the other day about how Deion Sanders played both ways.
Yeah,
his greatest year ever offensively was 36 catches.
Was it really?
His next greatest year was 7.
Really?
Yeah. So you're not talking about a lot of plays.
Yeah.
And Rod Woodson, he also is not Rod Woodson, excuse me. Charles Woodson was told
Charles
about,
Woodson, yeah.
Same thing, played both ways. His greatest year catching, 1 catch.
One
catch. That's it.
Wow.
It doesn't mean he didn't play a fair amount of plays, but they're going to spot play him.
Yeah.
And I think if he gets 100 plays a game, that's really good. Maybe 60 on one, 40 on the other. That's a lot of plays in a football game. Considering offensively, they probably get at the most 75 plays at the most. That's a good game.
No.
And then defensively, same thing. And if it's a good game defensively, you're holding them to 50, 55. So 125 plays in a game. If he plays 100, that'd be amazing.
Will he ever be the equal of Ohtani?
No. I think
I just thought I'd ask you, but I would already know in the chamber. Not a chance.
No. That's a once in a lifetime type guy. I guess Babe Ruth might have been like that for a while, but not.
Yeah, well, he pitched and then he hit.
Yeah.
I don't think he did both. Am I going to do the post-game show tomorrow? Yes. I will do a post-game show tomorrow. I'll be back around 9 and get everything set up, get the computer set up, and we'll do a post-game show for you guys tomorrow. 5:30 start, by the way. So it should be, 5:30, 7:30, 8. Game should end around 8, 8:10, right around there. Get home around 9 or so, 9:30. But, yeah, I'll come home, do a post-game. We'll get it all set up tonight, and we'll do a post-game show for you tomorrow. Probably for about an hour, we've been doing. We'll talk a little Rockets. So hopefully Butler will be back. I don't know much about – I wish I had some connections with the Warriors. So I don't have any connections. If I did, I'd know what's going on with Butler. So we will see. Which is better draft beer? Which is better draft beers or NFL draft? Oh, of course. I mean, draft beers. Draft beers are better than any draft. Are you kidding me? What pair is better for the draft? That's way too many drafts. You're confusing me now. I don't even know what you're talking about.
You're saying what pairs best with the draft? Which pairs best? What type of beer pairs well with the draft? Is
beer?
It a Pilsner? Is it
beer?
Cold beer?
Kolsch. A pale ale. When was the last time I wore jeans? Oh, shit.
Do you own jeans?
I do. I do own jeans. Yes. God. When was the last time I wore jeans? I don't even know. I wore pants. I actually wore pants when I was doing the games in Houston because I didn't want to walk around in shorts. The Warriors is easy because I can walk in and we have our own little studio there and no one can come in, so no one sees me. So it's not that big a deal. But I'm walking around amongst the seats and stuff. I don't want to wear pants, so I just wear. What are you doing?
Oh, the bunny making an appearance.
What you doing over there? We'll see if I can get her to come over here. I can pick her up. But they weren't jeans. They were like different kind of pants. So, I can feel her. She's like, come here. Come here. I got you. What you doing? Oh, but jeans, it's probably a couple of years, I'm guessing, since I've worn jeans. Any thoughts on Do you know? Did you see Nick Nash play wide receiver for San Jose State at all?
Yeah, he's good.
He's pretty good.
He's a good player.
Did he go anywhere? Do we know? I don't think he did. I like him.
I don't think he did.
I
either.
thought he was really good.
He's a good player.
Yeah, I think he helped me win a couple bets. That was cool. I was like, throw that man the ball. He's really good. Look at her. Like the bunny is just like we're enjoying. You know what? How great is it that Bunny matches my outfit? Are you kidding me? I got the Big Lebowski sweater. I got kind of the khaki shorts, white, the Ale Yeah t-shirt, and she's like brown and white too. That's like so sweet. Huh, Bun? Look at Bun. Bun's like, keep me away from the spit roast. No, but I like Nash a lot. I don't know where he's gonna end up going. This is the most jealous animal in the history of animals. Anytime one of the cats come over to like hang out, she's look at her. I mean, it's so pathetic.
I won't be ignored.
Yeah, she won't. Yeah, she's like come close. I mean, I love you, but geez, I love the other animals too. You know that, right? And you already get fed.
It's a nice menagerie of.
Yeah, leave my pizza alone. Oh, there's Davey. Davey wants a great college story. Tell him the story about New Mexico.
No, I don't know. I don't know how much of that I can tell.
You can tell the good parts of it. It wasn't bad for you.
No, it wasn't bad for me.
Wasn't great for me.
Well,
but
we were watching football games, and some people may have had
New Year's Day games. By the
New
way,
Year's
bowl
Day games. This
yes.
is New Year's. We played New Year's Day. That was New Year's Eve games, or was it vice versa?
No, I think we played on the second.
We played on the second,
The
so we're watching games
we watched
all
the
day.
Rose Bowl and
Yeah.
Sugar Bowl and all those.
It was back when they only had, you'd watch back to back the
Yep.
4 bowl games, and
Yep, Sugar, Orange, Fiesta, Rose, and I think one more.
and some people may have had money on some of these games. I'm not exactly sure who, but they may have had money on those games.
May have had.
And somebody may not have been doing very well.
May have had a bad day.
May have had a bad day.
Had a bad day.
And until the last game. And I remember distinctly, we were watching the last game. I believe it was Nebraska and Florida State.
Nebraska always played in the Orange Bowl.
It was always in the Orange Bowl, and it was
Big
great
8 versus ACC.
It was a great game.
Yeah.
And it was coming down to the last play, and somebody might have had Nebraska maybe by 2.5. I don't know, whatever it was. But it came down to the last play of the game, and we're excited. We're watching the game, and the guy drops back to pass, and Tom turned the TV off. He couldn't watch it because somebody had not done well, and they couldn't afford to lose that last game.
Oh God!
And then he clicked it back on, and they were celebrating, and so was somebody else. But that took its toll on somebody, so that the next day they forgot their shoes. We were ranked number 1 in the country, going to play New Mexico in the pit. Somebody forgot their shoes, and it wasn't me. But they used my shoes in the game, and he did not have a great game. Nobody did, actually, but nobody had a good game.
We all sucked.
And we lost.
We were all terrible.
One of the 3 losses that we had. But
yeah, I opened up my bag, and I'm like, fuck are my shoes? I don't even have my basketball shoes. Like, I was panicking.
Hey,
I don't have my basketball shoes. So I think one of the assistant coaches goes, Bergie, what size shoes you wear? 15? Give Tom your shoes. So Bergie didn't have any shoes.
I had my tennis shoes, my running shoes I was wearing out there. I knew I wasn't going to play, so it didn't really matter.
Shoes out on the bench.
Hey, another terrific story. We played, and Tom, I'm sure, has told this story before, but we played in the Fiesta Bowl Classic, and we had a great tournament one year. It was us and Duke, Michigan State, and Florida.
Yep.
And all 4 teams were ranked high. They were very good. And it was a packed house around the place, and at the last game we were playing Duke. The Florida and the Michigan State people had kind of left because they didn't really want to stick around and watch, and so there was a lot of empty spots down around the court where all the media was, and they had these media spots for Florida and for Michigan State. So some of our buddies, Tom's got buddies that were all buddies now that came into town and watched the game, decided they were going to sit down there. and they were sitting courtside. I remember looking up, going, "Oh my God, those guys are sitting on the court with the
That
media."
was Jerry and all those guys, Rob
And Tom has a good game. He has a good game as usual. He plays well, and we ended up winning. But little did we know, they had an all tournament team, and Tom's buddies all got to vote for the alternative team,
and they voted for me,
and they all voted for him, which was a little bit of a stretch, probably.
Yeah, I think Steve said, "We thought you had a pretty good couple games, but we didn't think you were all tournament." I was like, "Did you see who's sitting at courtside?" All my boys were sitting courtside,
and they all had a vote.
Tom Tolbert, all tournament, Tom Tolbert, all tournament. Oh my God, those guys were just goofballs, absolute goofballs. I woke up one night; they were there, and it was like Jerry and John Salazar. And I think Rob Banco, maybe Pat Banco as well. And we just, oh my God, we got tore up. Like college tore up. Like Sun Country wine cooler. And it's raining again, isn't it? Now it's nice to have this. I like this now. So anyway, we're drinking peppermint schnapps, which I can't drink to this day, and Sun Country wine cooler. And then, it goes great with peppermint schnapps and Sun Country wine cooler? Pop Rocks. Those are outstanding. Outstanding. At least I thought at the time those would be outstanding. So anyway, I mixed those three, laid down on my bed, and just out. I was out. I woke up the next morning on the floor. I was like, unbelievable. These guys kicked me out of my bed. My buddies kicked me out of my bed and put me on the floor. I looked over. There was no bed. They took the bed out of the room and put it outside. I go, "Where's my bed?" They go, "Bro, you threw up on it." And I go, "Threw up on it?" They're like, "Not only did you throw up on it, you threw up on it into the wall, into the light socket. We thought you were going to electrocute yourself." So we cleaned you up and got the bed and just put you on the floor. I was like, "Oh, thanks, I guess. Nice. Appreciate it. Good looking out." So yeah, no peppermint schnapps, no Sun Country wine cooler, no Pop Rocks. Haven't had any of that since. That was an awful choice.
Half these listeners don't even know what Sun Country wine.
I have no idea. But you know what? Now
they were good though.
Now they know why I stick with beer. That's all I do is stick with beer. So, all right, we got any players that we know here? Benjamin Morrison, cornerback, Notre Dame. Okay.
Oh,
I may have heard of these guys. There's your guy, Trey. Oh, Trey
Harris.
Oh, that's a really good wide receiver
Ole
from
Miss.
Mississippi. Okay, he's going to the Chargers.
They need a wideout.
Yeah, he can go there with
Lad McConkey.
Lad. Oh, that's Lad. How you doing, Lad? That's Brent Musburger. How you doing, Lad? Good to see you, Lad. He was a big Lad guy. Didn't Lad McConkey look like that guy? Who's that cartoon character that always had the big helmet? It wasn't the Great Kazoo. But it was like, was that who it is? Was it Kazoo?
Kazoo, the green helmet? I don't know. He looked like him.
But it's like, no, it didn't look like him. He just had a big helmet. Like Lad McConkey had a
Jack in the Box,
massive helmet. I was like, dang, this guy's helmet's huge. Maybe we can get a different helmet. I don't know. We were pretty good last year, though. Although I wasn't really happy when they had that touchdown against the Texans, for 70 yards at the end of the game. That did not help me out. There were certain plays that did help me out. They did not help me out at all. I'm like, are you kidding me? Texans, how do you let that happen? Crying out loud.
So is Shadir Sanders going to fall to the third round?
Ooh. I mean, we're how many more picks do we have in the second?
Well, they're at 57 or 8. I think, 62 or 3? Well, in the second round.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what that would be? Legendary. Is what it would be. I give a crap. Oh, man.
Well, who besides he and Milrow? I guess we talked about Ewers, Gabriel, the kid from Ohio State.
Oh, Howard. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I everything I've seen is they're not guys that would be picked ahead of him. I wouldn't think.
Milrow could be. If you like the athletic ability.
I actually think Milrow's got a lot of upside. There's that word again, but he's got a lot of stuff. that you can't coach. He's so quick. He's got a big arm. It's so hard to go from two different systems. You know, he went for the system that they were running when Saban was there to the new one with DeBoer, and you got to learn that. And you kind of figured he wasn't going to have a great year in his first year doing that. So I wouldn't put a lot of merit into this season's. I would look at some of the stuff he's done in the past. Yeah. He got a lot better from his first year to his second year.
Yeah. Well, big arm.
Yeah.
Super athletic. Yeah. Fast. I just don't know if he's accurate enough. And that's something I've always wondered, like how much you can coach accuracy.
You know what? It's difficult. You know, some guys got it or some don't. Some guys make up for it with quick release.
Yeah.
You can. I mean, the more you throw, the more you practice, the more accurate you get.
Yeah.
And usually the guys who aren't as accurate are the guys with big arms.
Yeah.
Because it's the throwing spot is going to be different than it will be if I have not as strong an arm, I know I got to lead him a little bit more. If I have a real strong arm, I know I can put it on him.
Yeah.
The speed of the guy that's going across. So a lot of guys with big arms have a hard time with the accuracy.
Yep.
And then you get guys like Elway who could do both,
yeah.
and Favre could do both, and those guys are Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
But a lot of those guys with the big arms have had a hard time. And we look at Anthony Richardson. We talked about his accuracy, huge arm, and he struggled with that. He struggled with it in Florida, and he hasn't played a lot. And they're hoping that through more reps and through more games that he'll improve on that. And he just got to stay healthy to do it.
Yeah. Now, I mean, look, at that point, look, Lou, you're a star. What are you saying? It's your close-up, Lou. It's your close-up. Please don't. Like, I don't know. You gonna talk into the mic? I'm surprised the cats didn't show up today. Usually, I mean, I left the door open. I thought the cats might jump up there. Oh, come on. We're just about done, okay?
She is very jealous.
Yeah. Oh, big time jealous. She wants to go inside. She wants me to sit on the couch, watch some basketball games, and just chill. She's had it. She's really had it with this.
That was a grunt, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, let's have some comments. Let's roll some comments that we've had throughout the course of the show. We'll answer a few questions.
Kind of did already.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
We're done. We have one?
This is the last one, yeah.
Oh, you know what? My bad. I didn't have any barbecue when I was in Houston. People are like, do you have barbecue when you're in Houston? I go, yeah, I'm going to try barbecue in Houston. I didn't try barbecue. They had some great Tex-Mex, though. Incredible. They had these fajita tacos. Oh, those fajita tacos
can't go wrong.
Outstanding. And then there was a good craft beer pizza place in the hotel that Steve and I had a couple meals there. But I mean, it's Houston. There's fucking nothing special about Houston. Sorry.
At least
Houston,
you're there this time of year where it's not so humid.
Yeah, it was a little humid.
Was it getting there?
Yeah, it was humid. It was
the bugs are the size of birds.
Yeah, close to 90 and humid. And so there's some good neighborhoods though that I got. I got some good walks in, and went to the movies when I was there. Walked 3 miles, go to the movie theater, and then walk 3 miles back. Saw Warfare. It's good. Intense.
Did you see the Astrodome?
I did. Is that even around?
It still is.
Is it really?
Yeah. Right next to whatever they call it. Not Reliance Stadium anymore. It's I forget.
Yeah, I did not go down there. We're not downtown.
Oh, okay.
We're outside of downtown, which kind of sucks, but we did go to the Astros game. Yeah, Kevin Franzen got us tickets, so that was cool.
Who are they playing?
For the Blue Jays. So yeah.
I saw Olajuwon made an appearance at the game, right?
Olajuwon and the Big E.
Yeah.
Elvin Hayes.
Wow, Elvin Hayes.
So we're thinking who?
How old is he now?
Elvin Hayes has to be mid-70s, I'm guessing.
Oh, I'm thinking older. Although he did play against Bill Walton in college, so they're about the same age. You're right.
So who has the best centers combined in NBA history? What team?
Well, I mean, the Twin Towers was pretty dang good.
No, I mean
over right now,
40 or 50 years, combined.
Oh, combined. If you combine,
yes.
I'd have a hard time not saying the Lakers.
Shaq, Kareem,
Chamberlain.
Wilt. It's pretty good. And then I started thinking of the Rockets, and I was like, okay, you got Olajuwon. You got Elvin Hayes. Samson was there. There's one more that I'm missing. There's Yao Ming.
Yeah. Jim Peterson.
Jim Peterson. I love you, Pete, but no, you're probably not a part of that. Probably not a part of that group. Now there was one other one that God dang it, who was it that I was going to say? Oh, Moses Malone.
Moses Malone.
I mean, Moses, Akeem, Samson, Elvin Hayes, Yao Ming.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
That's a pretty good group.
I don't know if it beats the Lakers. Lakers might be the best of all time because I think you have probably 3 top 10, top 12 players of all time.
I mean, you know,
arguably,
arguably,
Shaq, Kareem, Wilt.
That's, I mean, 3 guys that you just say their first name, you know who they are.
Yeah. So I'm not sure, but yeah, Houston was like, I was like, God dang, that's right.
Well, what Laker centers are we missing over that span?
Oh, you know, Pau Gasol.
Another,
I don't know if he's a power forward, but
yeah, it's still a great player. I mean, they've had so many good big men. I mean, and the Celtics, Bill Russell and McHale and Parrish.
Parrish, yep.
They were obviously the same time.
McHale Parrish.
I mean, they're Willis Reed and Patrick Ewing, and I can't think of anybody else.
Yeah, who else would be for the Knicks? I don't know.
Yeah, it's well nowadays.
I guess the Lakers too. If you want to throw Mikan in there,
you have to.
I mean, he's super old school.
Yeah, but
I guess
back in that day, he was dominant.
Yeah.
I mean, the Warriors not much.
Nate Thurman. You got Clifford Ray.
You got Bill. You got Chamberlain.
Got Chamberlain.
I don't know if Clifford Ray falls into that category. I love him. But
was Robert Parrish there for like a year?
1 year.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to include him, that's kind of.
He was part of that trade that ended up getting Parrish and McHale.
Yep.
Because of that trade.
He was the number 3 draft pick.
Yes. Yeah.
For Joe Barely Cares.
Oh, that
wasn't a good one.
That's a brutal.
That
one goes down in history right there. 2/3 of the big 3 from Boston.
That hurts. That hurts just a little bit.
It doesn't if you're a Boston fan.
No, it doesn't. You're a Boston fan. You're pretty fired up. I don't know why. Have you watched that yet, Celtic City?
No, I haven't seen it.
I gotta watch it. I heard it's really good.
I like all those. Those are good.
Yeah, I just hate the Celtics.
I love the Celtics. I did. I don't care anymore. I was a Celtic fan
over Lakers. I know Craig
McMillan was. You know what? I didn't really care. I like watching good. I like when they played each other, and I like when the Celtics played the Sixers or the Sixers played the Lakers. Yeah. That whole trio of teams, it seemed like every year was those 3 were going to be in the championship.
Yeah. So you want to make our guy Craig McMillan like super mad, and Bergie grew up with him. I roomed with him at Arizona. He had Larry Bird posters on his door and Celtic paraphernalia, Celtic garbage can. Like he had it all. He was like, he loved the Celtics. So if you go take a dart, I don't know why we had darts. I got to be honest, and just chuck it through the door.
We had a dart board that hung there.
Yeah, and throw it through the Larry Bird poster. You might die. Like that's how much he loved the Celtics. I think he almost killed Bruce Frazier one night for throwing a dart through his Celtic poster.
We used to throw it through the whole door.
Yeah, throw it through the whole door. So it'd go through the poster, through the door, and outside the door. And you'd see the little knot, like the little tip of the dart outside the door. That's how hard we would throw it.
And what's crazy is Kenny Lofton, who we know was a terrific baseball player, was a great basketball player. He was just an unbelievable athlete. He could sit there and we'd throw darts, and he'd stand by the door, and he'd grab them out of the sky.
Yeah,
he'd just grab them.
No.
And if you threw one really hard, he'd just back off. I mean, he didn't have that much time to react. He still react with it. He was that quick.
No, Kenny was. I mean, you want to talk about an incredible athlete. Okay, it's over. Okay, we're gonna stop. I mean, good Lord, you're killing me over here. She's like, she keeps jumping up. This is like the 4th time in the last 10 minutes. She's like, are we done yet? Like, literally, I've given you 3 hours. So. We have any more comments? Are we done with the comments? We're done with the comments? All right. Hope everybody had a good time. Oh, look at the bunny. The bunny's back in it. The bunny's like, whoa. We calling the show? What are we doing over there? Are you serious?
Hopper.
Bunny's like, why are we calling the show? Go on, Lou. You can get it. You can get Bergie. Do we have the bunny cam? We get the bunny cam for. Look at her. As soon as I said the show was over, the bunny comes rolling out. She's like, you sure I can?
You got me, I know.
I'll hang out for a little bit longer. All right, I want to thank everybody. Daniel, Max, thank you very much. Thanks for coming on, Berg.
You bet. No,
We'll
it's
do
a lot
again.
of fun. Yeah, let's
do it
do
again.
it.
We may do it during the football season. What does that Bergie roll over here on Sundays and do some football stuff, do some Niner related stuff. I'll have him come over here and watch
May
the
have to
game.
do it during the golf tournament.
The golf. Oh, well, boy, that would be a fucking shit show if we did that. If I brought the computer up there with 8 guys, oh God, that would be something. We might
see some of the characters.
We might. We'll definitely do it with me, you, and Davey when we go on our sports trip in September. Which I don't know. They don't ban you from YouTube, do they? They can? Okay, well then maybe who knows?
Depends on what you do.
We could get banned from YouTube. I have no idea. I have no idea how that's going to go, but we'll definitely do that. So, all right. So Saturday, we'll be back. We're going to do a post-game show after the Warriors game. So probably around, I don't know, let's call it 9 and 10-ish, somewhere around there. And we'll do it for an hour. And then we'll have another show on, we're not sure exactly what we're doing next week because my travel schedule could be a mess next week, right? I got a game Monday, Warriors game. We'll do a post game after that. And then I got to leave to go to Houston Tuesday, game Wednesday. If there's a game 6, we come back, game 6 Friday, and then possibly go back to Houston for a game 7. So I don't know. You know, it's crazy. I'm trying to do as much as I can. Max and Daniel doing a great job, and we'll just try to, you know, do post game shows for you and do that. And then other than that, we'll figure it out. So thanks, Berg.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Absolutely. Thanks, boys. Appreciate it. Let's get out of here. Let's go drink some more beer and eat some more pizza. See ya.